Hello. Welcome to the void. Ignore the black screen and the Zenless music in the background. I definitely wasn't distracted and lost track of time playing in Deadly Assault. Definitely didn't happen. Okay, let's see. Where's my... There's the window. Okay. We'll get Genshin up shortly. 1 second. Let me get my windies arranged. This chat is password protected, by the way. The Twitch chat, you're breaking the rules. I guess, you know what, to be fair, I didn't put the pin message in Twitch chat yet. I forgot. Also, I need to get the chat on screen. Sorry, I'm put together. This chat is password protected. You must say BARKA every 10 minutes to continue chatting, okay? We are barking for BARKA for Varka. Bark. Why though? BARKA. What do you mean why though? Why is it? It's not actually password protected. BMF. It's not actually password protected. I don't think Twitch actually support. Anyways, sorry. Let me get the YouTube URL. 1 second. Larka, how dare you? How dare you, Jason? All right. What? That did not copy properly. How did I copy one word from the URL? I know how. I double clicked instead of triple clicked. Okay. There we go. Over to Fox Shop. Free BARKA? Yeah. We bark to get the boy for free. Hoyoverse, if he's free, I don't care about damage performance. I think I'm gonna like the boy. I simply the fox is dead because okay, what am I doing? Close Endless. Close Endless. Claim my rewards. You can't even see it because it's not configured for some reason. Alt F4. Launch the video game. Bloop bloop. Also, we should check. Let's check if this works. Is there going to be any surprises? Is the real question. Right? I don't know. Does anyone think there's going to be surprises this stream? Or is it going to be boring because it's like a dead patch and it's just going to be BARKA for Varka? Oh, sorry for blinding everyone. Jesus Christ. There we go. Slightly less blinding. What's the chat saying? Wanderer. Mualani rerun, please. People who say Varka is standard are ugly. I mean, I don't understand, like, why people think we can't have compelling units on standard banner. Like, you're just feeding into the gambling system. Just saying. We can have compelling units on standard banner, yo. Like, if you think it's a problem that characters of standard banner, you should have a problem with the fact that they make standard banner units meh. Not that they make standard banner units. Or that the character you like everyone wants a stronger standard, like that person would probably say, oh, no, I want stronger standard banner units. It's not what I'm saying. But then if you're like, okay, but then what if insert character you like is standard banner? They're like, no. I want standard banner units that are good, but not my standard, not my character. Just like I want more 4 stars, but not the character I love. Like, okay, if you actually love the character, doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't matter the standard banner, doesn't matter if they're free, doesn't matter if they're a 4-star. You just put in the damn effort to make them work the way you want them to work. Just saying. Anyways. I just want interesting kids. Oh yeah. Also, it is 5:50 a.m. Isn't game gonna load? It's being really slow. I apologize to my neighbors if I wake them up. Make sure our audio settings are working shortly here. Actually, let's make sure Chrome doesn't murder our ears. It's set to 50% volume. I'm gonna set it to like 10% volume because YouTube live streams, when they go live, will do this like obnoxious, horrifyingly loud countdown thing. Anyways, so for what it's worth, I include standard banner as being pseudo free. If Varka is free, if Varka is standard banner, I will still pull for him. My intent, I would love if he's free because it justifies me going for C1 R1 Even more. Like no one will judge anyone for having a higher investment Varka if the baseline copy is freely acquirable, right? So I think my ideal cope is, yeah, I'm gonna continue coping. I'm gonna continue coping that we get free units. Why? Because Genshin has still never given a free unit. Does it make sense for them to give a free unit next patch? Not really, because you would like I think they give out free characters when they have patches that they want people to play. But anyways, oh yeah, look at this creature. I have the lights off, so cat cam's gonna be dark. But my $56 payment XL energy was processed. Wow, yay! That's a pretty high electric bill. I should turn my computer off more often.
The best rattan furniture is made from strands that are smooth.
Here, let me turn on cat cam.
Strong like silk.
He's still, you can still
Furniture
see him in the
like that can be
darkness.
just as precious as a silver
Wait,
family
you
heirloom.
can't because
That's
it's not
no exaggeration.
showing up. Why? Hold please. Why is cat cam not working? Not the cat cam. Guys, cat cam is broken for the stream. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Oh yeah, I forgot I made it. Oh, okay, here. Dee hold this. Oh,
Swallows nest when skies
it definitely
are
just
fair,
fell.
but hide when storms
Whoop.
are in the air.
There we go. Okay. Also that, here, wipe the camera. It's got fingerprint smudgies. Yeah, there we go. Guess who knocked over a lamp about an hour ago, by the way? At 5 a.m. in the morning, right next to the wall where I'm pretty sure... Well, I haven't been in my neighbor's apartments. Hopefully they don't have a bedroom that's next to the wall. He knocked over a fucking lamp an hour ago, though. Character reviews, if it isn't too much of a hassle. Wait 1 second. Maybe. Anyways, creature is excited for Varka too. He can't Varka though. He is exempt from the password protection. Also, there is another cat up there. Don't worry. Anyways, so
Is made from strands that are
let's
smooth,
see.
thin,
Let's make
and
sure
strong
my
like
windows
silk.
arranged. I got that. I
Furniture
got
like
that. I
that
got
can be just as precious as
this
a
is
silver
arranged for
family
now.
That's no
Although
exaggeration.
it's no exaggeration. If I rearrange, oh, DD is repositioning to take up more mousing area. Thank you, sir. That's what I needed. I mean, technically, I don't need that much mousing area today. Yeah. What's the chat is? The chat is. Give me items. Mualani rerun. Why do people want Mualani rerun? That's a surprise. Maybe it's just the one person spamming, probably. Release HomDG. I mean, HomDG cat is not in prison. But
Doing whatever I feel like,
anyways,
I suppose.
let's see.
Tomorrow.
Do it like
And
this,
after
maybe?
that.
I don't know. We'll have to rearrange once it actually pops up. So, add skip button. Yeah, you know you're truly a lover of the game when you want to skip the content. Anyways, sorry. Creature can Marka? Yeah. Anywho's, it's Varka Day. I want to see, I'm curious how they present him, as always. It's, these streams are, generally speaking, you know, advertising e-streams, but not my streams. Well, I mean, you could argue my streams are, I guess, but, what was it saying? Oh, sorry, the Genshin version announcements are just like, you know, boring most of the time. And this is a patch that is coming after, you know, a major patch, so the assumption is the content in the actual update, other than new characters, probably gonna be a little bit light. Like, I assume they'll mention some story. I assume they'll go over the events. I assume they'll be like, wow, look, new Miliastra skin. I hope they, you know, actually, as far as things I hope they do, I still continue and hope they work on custom combat. For now, custom combat, in my opinion, is not really real in Miliastra, but we'll see. But yeah, the real cope is, as you know, how I wanted free. I still think Zebai would have been the better character to give for free. I thought it made sense. The Lantern Right, it would have made sense to give Zebai as a free character. They didn't. Oh well. It just means I don't have her. That's fine. I think she would have been the ideal free character for a number of reasons. So any cope for Varka being free is different. I think the only real cope, if they want to promote people to play Genshin next patch and like get people to play the game, is it seems likely that, again, they might announce Genshin is launching on Steam for the next patch. And if it's launching on Steam, maybe to try to get, like, you know, Steam PC players to try the game when they wouldn't have tried it before because they had to download it externally. Maybe he's free to promote Steam release. But anyways, I think that's the ideal, because I think Varka would be a really cool character to give for free. He is unlikely to, at a baseline, unlikely to massively uplift the power level of most people's accounts, but I think most people would enjoy him. And I think he is likely to have some issues in his kit, right, that limit his power level, and that means he's ideal as a free boy. He's got a movement ability. Man, he'd be such a great character, just like start playing the game and get for free. But anyways, let's Barka. Let's Barka and hope that he's free, because why not? Space Leaks free. You guys can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm not necessarily going to engage with parts of the conversation that I don't feel about engaging in. So, yeah. Anyways. Varka's a pretty good character to use Lania with. I think most people... I think, as far as, like, Zajef goes, or other theory crafters, I think most theory crafters evaluating Varka from a neutral context without a shielder, at least at C0, well, no, it doesn't, I don't think it gains any interruption resistance from, look, I think most people are going to want a shielder with him, okay? Not always. And also, as always, you can play without a shielder and be perfectly happy. If you play well, or optimize around the enemy, or some, well, I was gonna say, or if it's a less aggressive enemy, but sometimes they're just more aggressive enemies. I don't know. I'm knowing most players, and knowing myself, I think even I would want to shield with Varka most of the time, and I tend to be someone who doesn't feel as much a need to use shielders with Varka. That's my prediction. Okay. Can you wake Mies up? They're gonna miss the stream. Mies and I are actually the same person, so Mies is already awake. Didn't know if you knew that. That's me, yeah. So, anyways, but I don't know if Mies is choosing to awake or not. But anywho's, we'll see what happened. Is it live yet? No. All right. Go spend resin. Not on this today. Ley lines, I guess. So boring. Just fine. Ley line. We can't even finish my resin yet because it's freaking 5 a.m. Oh my god, why does it have to do this one again? Well, no, I'm using a Lania team. It should be fine. I just woke up. Welcome, Ure. At waking up. Oh my bad, that's awesome. Yeah, we're definitely the same person. That's the wrong direction. Good Barka morning to you. Barka. Barka. We gonna bark. Anyways, I'm quite looking forward to Barka. I think he will be a very, very fun character. And I think he might be a refreshing change of pace. For me and for a lot of people. But I also think there's a chance... Hello? I also think there's a chance that next patch might come with like a Stygian Onslaught that is even less fun than any other Stygian Onslaught before. Which is, you know, great. But we'll see. I doubt they'll focus on that in the stream. That'd be a little weird. Gonna be another... See, that's what I'm talking about. Bro. That's what Chrome... That was loud. That was not that loud, to be clear. But that's what Chrome at 10% volume. Anyways, mute Genshin, I guess. Why is it still loud? I don't know. YouTube, you have things to answer for. I guess we'll just let that go for a second. And do this ley line. I turned off the Genshin audio already. But yeah, anyways, I think there's a good chance I don't clear Stygian next patch. We will see what happens exactly. But, I don't know. Alright. I look forward, by the way, yes, to... Oh my gosh. Because Varka and Lanyan share some similarities, but they're very different characters in general utility and practice, I think. Okay. Starting with showing Mondstadt, which I guess makes sense. Get out of here, frickin' you heathens. What? Okay, they're definitely doing a Chronicle Banner run. If they're opening with Klee, right?
There's something huge
Devalin.
in the sky.
What was that?
We all remember what Paimon said back then. Welcome to Mondstadt.
Lanyan is
you two.
Barka at home,
The
yeah.
place where it all began.
As you see, traveler, the situation is dire.
Dire difficulty? No. Does Fischl have a mask? I'd put it on her permanently if I could. Let me know if I need to tweak the volume at all.
From what I've heard, the Fatui agent
Okay.
guarding this place was given a thorough beating.
Good enough.
And then the lock opened.
No, wait, sorry. I am gonna shift it over just so the chat doesn't block shit.
Lupus
Whatever.
Boreas. Why so
Wolf Boy.
weak?
What is this throwback event? It does seem a little throwback. Razor and Nogcry? No, that's Nogcry enemies in Razorland.
Come forth.
Oh, so it's a Barka. Barka. Bark. I can't be loud, chat. I'm sorry. It's 6 a.m. I'm not gonna be loud and wake up neighbors. Soft Barkas. Barka. Look at them animations. 2 whole swords with dual elements. They're only showing him with pyro.
Fragments of an ancient god.
Okay, it's fine.
Inside a blade.
Frenzy boy.
I suspect there is more to Mr. Varka's plan than what he's revealed to us.
Mr. Barka.
Something seems wrong with that old wolf, though.
Who's that? Oh, I like his design.
Lupus, the Wild Hunt,
I like his eyes.
Andreas.
He looks like a forester, I'm not gonna lie though.
The difficult part is we can't kill him right now.
Someone's gonna be mad at that comment, I'm sorry.
I can sense it. It lies in the north. It is the part of me that remains in Nodcry. From
Whoa,
whence I
okay.
came.
Oh yeah. I forgot there was a whole connection of Boreas to the Yeah.
Give this token to the current
That makes sense.
knight
That's gonna be the plot line
Boreas.
next patch. He's a lizard. Big lizard.
You're holding back.
3
I can
lizards.
tell. You do not wish to strike me down. If you continue on this path, you will die.
Save your breath. If you
Is the
wanna
audio
fight,
fine, everyone, by the way?
Let's fight.
I shall do as you wish, Knight of Boreas. This place shall be your
Lohan.
graveyard.
Yeah, that was a
Get
thing.
home
Yeah.
safe, Varka.
The statue is broken. Are they gonna change the Venti statue then?
Ironic.
That's probably a plot point.
Knight of Boreas.
I hope it stays broken
The
for a
next
few
part
patches.
is over to you.
Wow, Barka looking so scary.
The wind.
It's all good. Okay, cool. Wow. Clink. Homeward. Alright, that's an easy one to remember. I guess I should jot those down to paste somewhere later. Homeward. But yeah, alright. Yeah, I think the story quest should be interesting. I mean, I hope they expand on Varka's character because he's had like a supportive role, obviously, so far. He is the Knight of Boreas. Unfortunately, I'm not that lore informed about Mr. Barka. So, you know, will that affect my enjoyment? I don't know. Probably not, because I think my own like of Varka will affect my enjoyment more. But anyways. Who is the dude in the right? Oh, Alice, hello.
Travelers. Welcome to the Genshin Impact version Luna 5 special program.
Turn up the volume.
He who
Yeah, I
got
think it
the
is a little
wind.
now.
I'm Rachel Kimsey, voice of Alice, and hosting with me today we have...
Yo, what up, gang? I'm Nick Olson, the voice of Flints.
Wait, I just remembered my...
And hello, travelers. I'm Joseph May, the voice of Varka, Grandmaster of the Knights of Favonius, and I'm super excited to be
There you
here
go.
for my very first time.
That gives me a little bit more control. Sorry.
Hello. And I'm Erica Harlicker Stone, the voice of Venti.
Tone deaf
Well,
bard?
Yeah, that's me.
We've got quite the setup here, complete with refreshments and desserts. Looks like something straight out of
And
one of the
desserts?
Hex and Circle's tea parties.
Yeah,
I
for
want to have
real.
only the best
Doesn't it?
parties.
Barka's secretly a witch character.
Well, version Luna 5 is called Song of
Sounds
the
way
Welcome
less
Moon
unky in his
Variation,
normal voice.
And the traveler
worse,
is
isn't
heading
it?
back to Mondstadt. But something about that name makes me feel like the upcoming stories aren't quite so simple.
Oh, so we went from a postlude in the previous version to a variation. Guess we're mixing things up then?
Oh,
Let's get to it.
I didn't notice that.
Alright,
Song of the Welcome
yeah,
Moon
okay, I guess we should
variation.
start with the version
Okay.
trailer. I mean, that felt like
Well,
going back
guys,
in time.
everything's different now. They're calling it a different word.
Right? All those memories.
Ooh,
I mean, Mondstadt was the beginning of
wow.
everything.
Everything's
Yeah, it
different now.
was. Woo, Mondstadt.
And because
Sorry.
of that, I am sure it holds a special place in the hearts of all travelers. So, in honor of us going back, the devs compiled a few memories for us to
I
relive
know they're saying going
together.
back as if we
Let's
haven't
take a
been
look.
there literally last year with the
Aw, yeah. Okay, I'm sure
Okay.
everyone remembers
Wait.
this one.
like. It
That's
was a
the
more
reason
significant.
we
Re-
met emergency food.
Yes, our journey with Paimon started on this very beach.
oh boy, they really have nothing to talk about. If this is what they're doing, guys.
Right?
Yeah.
And the crazy part is
Variation equals filler patch. Yeah.
Right. I wanna know.
I don't remember the beach at all. That's why they gotta refresh you. Oh look, guys, you can use Pyro Traveler on the beach now.
What are fungi doing in
Wait,
Mondstadt?
wait, are there fungi there now? Oh boy.
Ooh. Hey, also, what's up with the statue here?
Wait,
What's
it'd be
going on?
looking better than
Anyways,
normal.
it should be funny.
That's rude.
Yeah, you got to admit it's a whole lot cuter.
Hey, whoa, okay, let's not go crazy, okay?
It is better. Yeah.
It's
Let's see,
definitely off though.
Yeah.
but what else have we got?
Aw, look at us.
I remembered this is where we encountered Venti and Storm Terror
Mhm.
right after Paimon finished
Is the whole
introducing us to
stream just
Mondstadt.
gonna recap the
Aw,
Mondstadt
yeah,
story?
Wow, feels like no time has passed at all.
They're giving us no primo, so a
This
free
is also
bark would
where
help. True.
Venti and the Traveler first met, right?
Yep, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Man, time flies. Travelers have known Venti forever at this point.
Aw.
I
Right.
love
Um,
Old friend.
All right.
Oh,
Lieben got a job at the Adventurers Guild.
Ad
Okay.
Astra
Devon looks different.
I
He
guess.
might. I don't know.
Oh yeah, all that
I haven't seen him in a while.
applesauce, so nice.
Actually, I saw him yesterday. I fought him yesterday, technically, but
Who doesn't? You know?
This is making me want to farm some items and trade for some sweet Primogem.
smells like a dry patch. I mean, it's the patch after the Archon patch, so and after Lantern Rite, so
Oh yeah,
you know.
something really
Okay,
weird
they-
is going on here. I don't know.
there's
what,
no way they
but
don't do a
it's
Mondstadt
weird.
Chronicle banner this
I'm
patch,
excited
right?
to figure out what it's
With
all
how- with how
about.
Mondstadt
And
focused it as
speaking
Jean.
of things to be excited
Immediately.
about, the Knights of Favonius are hosting an event in the upcoming version where
With a
travelers
free
will
Varka.
have the chance
Sorry.
to reunite with a bunch of old friends.
And a freezy buy.
And make even more memories with them.
Yeah.
When-
Oh,
I don't know
hey,
what that
there's
means
one now.
exactly.
Whoa, the Knight of
There's
Boreas
one now.
himself.
Aha.
And the prodigal son returns. Grandmaster Varka is finally
So
back
mad if there's
in
no Chronicle.
Mondstadt.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Travelers will get the chance to see Varka on home turf
Wait,
for a little while and even add
2
him
minutes.
to their lineups.
For free.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so in terms of what we know about Varka so far, the traveler first heard about his heroic exploits way back in Mondstadt. How he's a legendary knight. of
Chronicle first half or
Boreas
second half?
leading
Is
an
that better or
expedition
worse? I mean, there's no
far from
polls
Mondstadt's
this patch for
borders.
free to play. There's not that many polls for paid players either.
Favonius refers to the west wind, right?
Yeah,
And Boreas is the north.
yeah, correct.
So,
Uh-huh.
what does that make Varka?
Northwest.
Crazy. I'm gonna hazard a guess.
Okay.
The northwest wind.
Plus 0 polls, yeah.
Oh,
guy's
okay,
good.
okay,
This guy's good.
Smarty over here.
Yeah, Chronicle banner. You know
Now,
what?
Long before getting to meet him, travelers gradually
The most
started to build
boring
an image of
surprise
him
change
through
that could happen
rumors
this patch
floating around
is
Mondstadt,
Chronicle banner.
making him out to be an
But
overall
let's spice it up,
carefree
guys.
and laid-back person.
Let's spice it up.
Better
Yeah.
gossipy people.
Instead of running for 3
Reputation
weeks,
definitely
it
precedes
runs the full
Yeah,
patch.
But then during the interlude chapter in version 5.6,
And they're
travelers
gonna,
got to hear
and
his
if they do
voice
this,
for
they'll
the
present it
first
as some like
time.
major change. It's like
And
to
Notcry
give you more
travelers
time to acquire the
finally got to put a
characters you
face to the name.
want.
Right. It was during Luna 2 when the Wild Hunt had our backs against the wall.
Oh boy, Will's
Varka appeared
Gravestone.
just in time to save the day.
Thanks, Elder.
Hello.
Yep, and after
Even though we
meeting
didn't see him
in
do
person,
anything.
it's clear
He just threw it.
he's
He just aura farmed,
dependable,
didn't he?
reliable.
And let's not forget, super strong.
So strong.
Oh, he's so strong.
Punch everyone.
I guess he's kind of muscly, I guess.
Yeah, look at
I
those
like how
muscles.
their immediate presentation
For
is Varka's
sure.
really strong.
Later in Nodcry, Varka even took the lead on devising a strategy against the Wild
Look, he's
Hunt.
strong.
And when the damselette disappeared, the doctor's
For a
plan
normal
was
human.
about to succeed and morale was low.
Clearly.
It was Varka who stepped forward to boost everyone's spirits.
But I definitely feel like he's got more aura
was
than he
able to
got
bring
strength.
people together from all corners of Teyvat, which
It doesn't
is a
matter, though.
remarkable
It doesn't
feat in
matter.
itself.
That's
Yeah,
true.
there's something
We Barka
about
for Varka.
being with him that makes people
And
rally together.
If Varka is free, then I get to see
he's
what
a
I
natural
want.
leader,
And
that's
that'd
for
be
sure.
dope.
Without his help, we wouldn't have been able to defeat the Ray Hero Solnari either.
I feel like they're overstating
Yeah,
Varka's
true, his
impact on the
exploits
story
are
quest.
legendary. But yeah, after getting
Like,
to know him better, I'm sure
can we be real?
travelers have realized
I
deep
I
down,
feel like
he's
Varka
just
was
a
one of
fun,
the more
generous,
replaceable
and all-around
components in the
approachable guy.
Nodcry story quest.
He's a fun guy.
In other
Yeah.
words,
I like the
he's
boy,
him.
but he could have been elsewhere.
That's
He has
all
a
we
It
can
would
ask
have been
for.
close
fine.
relationship with
Probably.
his subordinates and companions too. I mean, Ino even calls him uncle.
Don't be fooled, though. Compared to some of our other Nodcry companions, Varka is definitely on the younger end.
Mhm.
Don't you
Okay,
forget
okay.
it. Don't you ever
I
forget
mean, that's because he's filled with a
I
bunch
still
of people that
remember
are.
recording
He
some of the
converses
dialogue
with
between
people on a
Fritz
daily
and
basis that are
Varka. The man
7,000
was
years
so much
old,
fun.
so,
I mean, the man's got
you know.
jokes too.
Duh.
and the ones that don't always seem intentional.
Yeah.
Wait.
For sure. I love how all the companions we've met in Nodcry have been so different from each other.
Yeah.
Because
And that's
it's
true
what
for the
Nodcry
combat
is,
mechanics too. So let's take a
Smorgasbord
look
of
at what Varka can do on
wonderful
the
random
battlefield.
peoples.
Right, yes,
Let's see what the free Varka does on the battlefield. Durin, hello. Venti. He's gonna punch. No. Obviously not. Two whole claymores. This means you gotta pull 2 signature weapons too, guys. That's where all his power level's hiding. You pull 2 copies of his sig, and it doubles his stats. That'd probably make him the strongest character in the game, though, by the way. If he could equip 2 weapons. I'm not kidding. Adding an additional like stats of weapons would definitely explain things.
Whoa! Oh, the dual
look at them
wielding is
animations.
so cool.
When
I've
did they
heard
show
the
the-
Grandmaster
no,
from
don't worry
500
about it.
years ago had a
Surely they'll show
similar
more than
fighting style.
Pyro, right?
Plus,
They do,
Varka
good,
can
yeah.
inflict 2 types of elemental damage at the same time.
Wow.
I mean,
So
just
cool.
from that short clip,
Don't-
it's clear he's super strong.
Lanyon does that too,
Well,
guys.
As the legendary
Don't forget-
Grandmaster of the
don't-
Knights
don't-
of Favonius,
Lanyon does that
Varka
too.
has honed his combat skills to perfection.
It shows.
He wields 2 weapons simultaneously,
Mhm.
using Favonius
Amazing.
blade work to unleash continuous
smacking.
attacks against his
Wow.
enemies.
That's pretty cool. Okay,
Bad for the
speaking of
knees,
Varka's
yeah.
bold and daring combat aesthetic, the devs happened to let me in on an interesting tidbit. Okay, you guys ready?
Oh.
He's free.
Okay, so Razor and Varka
Interesting
share
tidbit, he's
a
free.
lot of similar combat moves. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, Varka took Razor under his
Okay,
wing,
interesting.
So, makes sense. Let's take a closer look.
I didn't notice. I guess that makes sense,
When
yeah,
holding
because
Varka's
I did know
elemental
about that
skill,
lore.
He performs a powerful
He a
leap,
jumpy boy.
launching a sudden strike
Wow.
against his opponent from above.
Oh wow! It's like we're seeing
do
a
like
whole
that as
new
an exploration
side to
ability.
Favonius blade work.
Yeah.
Just don't try to
for
press it-
sure.
don't try to
Oh my
plunge while
gosh,
you press
so
the skill.
It looks like the weapon in Varka's left hand is consistently infused with animo. Hey, yeah. Cool.
Oh.
While the weapon in his right hand can
Lanya
deal
has the
elemental
kawaii
damage based
factor,
on
take
the
that over aura.
elemental types
Why not
of
both?
his party
You
members,
can
is
log
that
on
right?
and Varka at the same time.
For the Grandmaster of the Knights of Favonius, combat is never a solo endeavor. It's about working together with companions
okay.
to adapt to the constantly evolving conditions of the battlefield.
This is them like,
So with
temper your
elemental skill,
expectations, you need
Varka
good
enters
characters
the
with them
sturm and
to make them do
draining
good.
state.
Yes,
In
I mean that's
this
most
state,
characters in the
he
game, to be
rallies his
clear.
party members,
But it's
channeling
even
and
more the
infusing
case
a
for him.
portion of their power
Or
onto his
arguably less
own
the case
weapon
in some
to
levels.
unleash
Depends on your
powerful
account.
attacks.
Bruh,
Friendship
look
power.
at that dual wielding go. It's
It is pretty good.
awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, and while in this state,
Like,
Varka
we
can,
gotta
with the
admit,
right timing,
whipping around.
unleash
It's,
his special elemental skill,
This is the most like generic like video game character, generic action game video game character this game has at this point. No, like how utterly unrealistic it is to whip around two massive swords like this, but it's also very video game. It's very fantasy, whatever. Like it scratches an itch, man. It scratches an itch to have a character like this exist. This is what video games are about.
Oh.
Yes.
Also,
the
being
Knight of
drunk
Boreas
is what
serves as a
they
kind
know.
of a bridge between humans and wolves. So of course, Varka's combat style incorporates some of the wolf-like elements. And I should also mention, one of Varka's talents increases the damage of his attacks when other party members trigger swirl
That wasn't Fav on
reactions.
Venti, that's a fake Venti.
Varka's momentum in battle is just as powerful as his determination to protect Mondstadt.
And his determination to be given to everyone
With his
for
elemental
free.
burst, Varka strikes in the name of the mighty Knight of Boreas, unleashing 2 powerful consecutive slashes.
Ow! He's so cool. oh, it looks like the elemental damage dealt by his burst also changes depending on the elemental types of your party members. That's so cool.
It's so over the top, but also realistic at the same time. I don't know if it's a realistic, but it is.
From a couple patches ago?
Yeah.
It is very over the top, and I like it.
Varka
I
has
have
his
no
own
complaints
homework assignment to
about the
tackle in the
visuals.
upcoming version.
Get to work, buddy.
Complete it to unlock Varka's Hexerai effect, which means that when other Hexerai characters are in the party, hitting an enemy with Varka's normal attacks after unleashing his elemental skill will further reduce the cooldown of his special elemental skill.
If you didn't notice, though,
Varka to use his special elemental
based on the
skill
footage,
and
he starts
charged
with
attacks
no
more
charges when he presses
frequently,
special skill.
further enhancing his
So,
combat abilities.
It seems like you
Nice.
get,
Okay,
with
so we've
Hexerai, you
covered a
get
lot
2 of
about
those
Varka so
skills.
far, but there's still something I
But
wanted to ask.
is he free?
Okay, go for it.
Well, we all know Varka left Mondstadt on that expedition, but we still don't know what the true purpose was.
Like he's not
or
flying
how
around.
it
Oh, that's
led him
fair.
to not
That's
cry.
fair.
So, why you here, bruh?
So
why
that's
you
Why you
what
here?
This is about. Okay.
I did forget he wasn't here for the
that's a
other
good
shit
point.
going
Come on,
on.
tell us.
What you
Stop keeping your
doing here,
secrets.
fam? For real.
All right, but to answer that question, we're gonna have to dig into Varka's past.
We get it for free, but you have to pull his weapon 2 times.
But after spending more time
You can't
with him, I'm
use the
sure
character at all until you
travelers
pull
have
on the weapon
started to
better.
realize there's still a lot left to uncover about how we got to this point.
Spill the beans.
Exactly.
so many
Spill
And
the beans
bits
about
and
his
pieces that have
free
been
state. No,
exposed
sorry.
so
Okay,
far make
shut
it
up. Sorry.
clear his relationship with the Hexen Circle and the
Yeah, I'm
reasons
curious about that.
behind his expedition are far from simple.
He's a complicated man.
Yeah, so what kind of secrets lie behind these stories? Take a look at this trailer for a sneak peek.
I don't want spoilers.
He looked into your scry glass.
It's fine. Got a fun animation, I guess.
Varka could easily have been the hero.
Nicole,
So why did he go on the expedition?
the real content is
What
back.
I can be
We'll
sure
get one line from Nicole.
is that he saw a disaster.
Barbie, don't tell me. This was you testing him.
Animated short coming February 17th. That is 4 whole days
The
away.
circle is making an appearance.
Nice.
Well,
This looks awesome.
Yeah,
Always
some cool
love
animation.
it.
so cool.
So now back to your original question.
Mhm.
The
Is
main
he
reason
free?
Varka came to
Sorry.
not cry is one we already know, right? To fight the abyss.
Yes,
But
correct.
Then
there's
you'll be
more
free
his
to make
exploits
Varka's
in
team
Notcry
building
than we've
easier.
seen so far.
That would be a
Varka
surprise
has also been
twist.
scouring the region for
That would
clues on
be
the
a
Knight of
surprise.
Boreas
And also a
the
little
wolves
rude
of
to
this
do
land.
after Venti just reran, like last batch.
Wolves?
Yes.
Is this a separate quest, not integrated in the main quest?
Okay, so you mean like the wolf pack in Mondstadt and
So we're getting actually
Andreas,
2
the great
notable
wolf
quests?
King of the North?
Uh-huh, that's right. And like I mentioned earlier, the Knight of Boreas
Or is
serves
this
as
the
a bridge
only
between
quest?
humans and the Wolf of the North. So by heading to the area near Armsvartnir, released in Luna 4,
Varka got
travelers
one,
may
but not
discover some
Bina.
ruins related to wolves. And from other sources, there's a story of a bloodstained knight waiting to be uncovered.
Oh, a blood-stained knight, you say? That's a very
Might
familiar
be Varka's
name.
Hex quest? No, I think the Hexerai quest is going to be
That's
shorter
making a
than
bunch
middle
of
thing.
travelers' ears perk up,
I
I'm
sure hope so. If you have to do like a
In
3-hour
Luna
story quest
5,
for unlocking a
Varka
passive.
and the traveler will need to address a sudden crisis
Okay.
as a new wild hunt disaster sweeps across Mondstadt, placing the Great Wolf King in jeopardy.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's right.
Somebody hold my
Almost.
lantern.
At the same time, the Wild Hunt, which had disappeared without a trace after Rirer's defeat, has risen again in Nodcry. And at its helm stands none other than the Bloodstained Knight.
This guy.
Oh,
This child.
oh gosh. So the terror of the Wild Hunt continues. Sounds like the Traveler has their work cut out.
That's
for
the
them.
most NPC looking
lucky
villain we've
for
had in a
us,
while, I
Varka's
feel like.
expeditionary force is full of outstanding warriors. And this time, we'll have the chance to fight alongside Lowen, the vice captain of
Oh,
the
he's a
Knights of the
polearm unit.
Harmonious' 5th Company.
Okay.
And of course,
Yes.
with the
Oh,
Grandmaster
he's a polearm
himself
unit, and they showed him with
leading the
Fav.
charge against the Wild Hunt.
Another
I
polearm
love
unit that
our
uses
chances.
Fav, guys.
Yeah, I
He
feel
is a
like
4-star.
that.
He's a 4-star.
And
They
for
showed
a
him with
limited time
Fav.
after completing this quest, travelers can earn various rewards, including
All right.
Primogems
Did we see an
level-up
element?
materials for Varka. And in addition, oh, here we go. There he is. There's the song.
Primogems.
In addition,
Rain
he's
your
free.
primos upon me.
Flew great, Lulu.
Here comes a thunderstorm of them.
Let me pull right now. It's primo time.
Are you okay?
And Varka will have
What's
some
going on with
special
Flints's
interactions
BA?
with the local legends in the open world. So, for instance, there is a shadow of a sword near the local legend, the homesick lone wolf. And when Varka interacts with it, he'll be
I found that
transported to a
sword.
mysterious space.
Where you
Come
get him
face
for
to
free.
face with another
Sorry.
fragment of the wolf spirit left behind by the god named Andreas.
Whoa!
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
that's a
Cool.
long way from Wolvendom, huh?
Ain't it just?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is a challenge Varka's going to have to face alone, so it's not going to be easy.
Mhm.
But if Varka can find a way to neutralize the various attacks,
That was an
then he
incredible
might just come out on
misaim.
top.
Oof. Facing a powerful god all alone. Well, if anyone here is up for the challenge, it's
That seems
Varka.
fun. I like it.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's got
thank
those
you.
muscles.
Yeah, how does he have pyro if he's all
Right,
alone
big
now?
pipes.
Flex
Completing
on
the
him.
challenge
Ooh, a special
also
sword.
comes with a very special reward, a brand new weapon skin for Varka, affecting the appearance of both
I wonder what
weapons in
Kiwi
his
will think of this,
hands.
because it's not drip.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
got 2 swords over there.
Oh my
But I like it.
gosh,
Oh,
look
that
at those
looks
swords.
so cool.
That looks pretty
Look
sick,
at
though,
the
for real.
red and the silver and the blade. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
And that's all I can share on Varka for now.
Oh.
Can I share that he's
So if you're
free?
interested in seeing how all this unfolds, be sure to check
Free
out
5-star
various
weapon.
quests
It's
and
a
interactions
skin.
in-game.
Yeah.
Then before
They didn't
we
really
take
say
our
so,
first
but
break,
it's
let's
almost
give
assuredly
a
a
quick
skin.
overview of the upcoming event wishes.
Ah, shit.
In
If
the
it-
first half of Luna 5,
No, it's
we'll
with
have event
Flint's.
wishes for
No.
Varka and Flint's.
Nice.
A new 5-star Claymore, Jest of the Mighty Wolf, will also be featured on the weapon banner. In
Okay.
addition, the
Yeah,
Chronicle
Chronicle
Wish
Wish,
banner from
yeah,
Mondstadt
what a
characters
surprise.
is returning in the new version.
Only in
So check
first
it out
half.
if you're
That's a
interested.
poopy weapon
Oh,
banner.
And during the second half of Luna
Yeah.
5, we'll have returning event wishes for Skirk
Man,
and Escoffier.
I really wanted a Scofier with him so I could try to get a
Yeah.
Scofier weapon when going for his
And a new
weapon.
boss will also be available
Man.
to challenge and not cry.
I'd almost rather try to get Skyward Blade for Bennett.
For Varka.
Oh, nice.
Huh. You know, it looks kind of familiar. I feel like
Yeah.
I've seen similar
Cute little
creatures
lizard.
scattered around Nodcry.
Less cute lizard, but still cooler
All
looking
right,
lizard.
all right. That brings us to our first break,
Worst
travelers.
timeline. I mean, I think it would have
Take
been
a look
worse
at the
if
second
Skirk was
redemption
along
code,
with him,
and we'll
but
see you on the other side.
Hurry, use it. Use it before it's gone.
Varka arrives for free. The third code is homeward. Varka arrives. Third code is for free, guys. It's gonna, wait. Wait. How legendary would this be? For free. Fuck. Also Chronicle Banner is not the full patch, so even they can't even make a full patch. They can't even do that, bruh. But yeah, Barka arrives in the mail for real. Free Barka. Okay, you know what? Here, let's try another one. Free Barka. Oh, sorry.
Yo! Welcome back. Welcome back.
Did you use the code?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Remember those strange images we saw at the beginning of the program?
Yeah, those were
Yeah.
weird. I didn't like the statue being changed.
Is it related to what we're gonna talk about next?
That's right. Okay, the secret behind these strange images can actually be found in the upcoming event,
Okay.
Homeward, He Who Caught the Wind.
Ooh,
Okay.
yay, wind!
Ah, that's right.
Yay, wind.
Yay for wind. This event is being hosted by the Knights of Favonius, and there's a bunch of interesting attractions for travelers to check out.
Cool.
So let's take a look at what this event has in store.
Okay.
Is the rest of this stream just gonna be about events?
Echoes of memory, where familiar
Is this gonna be the most underwhelming stream? This might be the lamest Genshin stream in a while.
What happened to his pigeons?
Oh my god!
It's not that I'm not looking forward to doing this.
Yeah, the locals are.
The pigeons are gone. How did they?
Getting scared with this one.
It's not like I don't think it'll be a fun patch. I can have fun. I actually like dead patches, by the way. It gives you a lot of freedom to do whatever the frick you want for the patch. For like leveling up different characters and having your own fun. But as far as watching their streams for the next patch, sorry for not being that excited. They got the fun VAs to save the live stream. Terrible take. I mean, look, I think you need, with a game that wants you to log in every goddamn day, I don't want to be barraged with constant, here's this new content, here's this new content. It gets fucking overwhelming, bruh. Like, I'm sorry.
Nice work, Genshin.
Quality of life so great? Yeah, surely.
Next up is an event where travelers will get to take over a
Anyways.
and show off their mix of
And you then have, and if you are logging in daily still and whatever, it's the lady breakdancing. They're doing this event again. Okay, with or a little bit different, but the drink mixing event. Lohem makes this peak fair. Emily, what's this thing?
Nice to chat with them about more lighthearted
I don't know.
stuff.
My brain. It's fine.
The various companions will reveal information on their likes and dislikes during the conversation.
Okay.
Things like their favorite scenery or flavors. So pay attention to these details and try to mix a custom drink that suits their taste.
Use your
Mhm.
active listening skills, guys.
Yes, chef.
Varka better than Zibai? No.
Travelers can also look forward to teaming up with a special companion for a one-of-a-kind
But
gliding
also
challenge.
depends on your account. There's no such thing as universals in Genshin. There's no such thing as universals in only cis speak in absolutes.
During the Mondstadt Archon quest.
Yes,
Be
that
so
means the
cool to
Jeff is a
experience
Sith.
That kind of battle again.
Yeah, except the stakes aren't quite so high this time. This is
Okay.
a training exercise.
This
so
is just
what matters most
Dvalin,
is being quick
but
in the
you're a
air
bird this
and quick
time.
to adapt.
Okay.
Now, during the challenge, there will be multiple perspective changes. So travelers will need to engage in combat from different viewpoints, shoot targets, dodge monstrous bullets, and
Okay,
collect trial points to complete the training.
The stream kind of stinks. Not even Barka can save it. I know, right?
Also be scattered along the route, so pick
We
them
had
up to
2 minutes of
gain
Barka content, and then
an upper hand in the
they're
challenge.
spending more time talking about the bird event than Varka.
Take every advantage you can get, guys, okay?
Exactly.
Okay, I think the cope is dead. They would have started it already with these free if they. He's not free, guys. I mean, I didn't really have a real. It was cope. I never really actually expected it.
By using different trial characters, travelers can showcase
It's good that you'll actually be able to try Varka in a real event. That's good.
Shadow to unleash powerful
Oh,
sword
except
pressure
okay, yeah, that
attacks
looks like
break
trying
through
Varka.
enemy
Hmm.
weaknesses. The more enemies you defeat, the higher
But
your
I
combat
assume you can
score.
probably ignore it. You can usually ignore the things in events and actually try the character more, hopefully. But anyways, that's good because oftentimes Genshin is lacking in ways to, well, not oftentimes, always basically Genshin is lacking in ways to meaningfully try characters before you commit to them. I think it's a major problem that most gachas solve. Most good gachas tend to solve. Not all of them. Enfield actually doesn't have shit for trying characters for real, but the Enfield's trials are much better. So, anyways. To show the Lohen element? I don't know if I did.
And something even more special. The
No idea what that is.
Star Omen.
What is it?
It's really cool.
Okay, travelers can use this gift to change the weapon appearance of any catalyst
Oh,
user
it's a skin.
to this
Hey,
incredible
Sylveon,
crystal
you
ball.
got a skin for
The
Lisa.
witch's hat. It has mage vibes for sure.
It's cosplay.
I think it's- I don't think I'd use it for anyone other than Lisa.
In addition to Mondstadt,
It's a cute thing,
travelers
though. Yeah.
can also look forward to reuniting with a few other old friends in Sumeru.
Oh, it's Hania.
Like, maybe I'd use it on Lanyan just for the funnies.
Yes.
Wait, what if it turns Lanyan into a Hexarai character?
Meet Bongo Head. Okay. In this event, travelers will accompany Bongo Head, aka my new best friend, and several other fungi friends on a journey through scenic landscapes.
Can we do that more? Yeah, I'd be down with them doing more weapon skins for sure. Wait, wait. Is that supposed to replace like a free actual weapon though?
Ooh, it sounds like
If that's supposed to replace a
fun.
free actual weapon, I'm not as happy about that.
Special dynamic tour routes where travelers will have to find the right moment and
Like,
angle
if they
to
just replace
capture
event
photos
weapons that are
along the way.
oftentimes pretty compelling in exchange for weapon skins, very bad. That's very bad change. Event weapons are pretty good
Sounds like a new way to say
on
that
average.
to me.
Ugh, I love it.
That's very bad change in my opinion. I hope that's not the
Travelers
case.
can also visit Aino's
We'll see in the
workshop
future.
and help put her custom-built automated warehouse defense system to the test. So
We'll
simply
see.
put, this trial
Just mentioning it,
requires
I'm sorry.
travelers to strategically deploy defensive mechanisms to fend off
If it's
waves
just a
of
new thing and
incoming
we don't
enemies.
lose anything in exchange for it, that's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
They did
Yeah,
replace an
and
actual
mechanisms
weapon?
Can also be upgraded in various ways, and those upgrades
okay.
can be
We'll see if they
combined
do that
into
always in the future then.
That's right.
As a one-off thing, it's probably
Travelers can
fine, I
also
guess.
unleash support skills to take a more active
Event weapons
role
are
in
completely
protecting
useless.
goods
You are
and
so fucking wrong, especially lately,
That's right.
in my opinion.
Plus, drawing various defense protocols can
I,
provide
in my
travelers
opinion, you are
with
so
resources
fucking wrong
or
about
even
event weapons being
enhance the
useless.
combat capabilities of the
Some of them are not
mechanisms.
very compelling, don't get me wrong.
Wow, I know is quite the little
But they've gotten
engineer,
smart with how they
isn't she?
design them, and they end up
Looks like
usually
your
being
skills
at
in full
minimum
swing
compelling
this
weapons
event.
for a specific character they're releasing within a patch or two. They're pretty damn good, in my opinion.
In the next installment of
The problem with them
Traveler's Tales.
sometimes is largely just that Fab is better. Like if you have an invested account with 5,000 Fab weapons, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. The brokenness of Fab weapons makes event weapons shitty. For event like the latest event bow that had ER. Sure, that weapon is pretty bad compared to Fab, but you might not have Fab, and it's a very compelling option to give in as a thing for players in general to have. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Also, yeah,
After
how
being
you-
away
how you,
for
Amir?
so long, I bet he can't wait to get caught up on all the goings on in Mondstadt, huh?
That's so true. His anecdote actually tells a pretty special story. So
Yeah,
you know,
the
be
more
sure
you
to
wish
check it
on
out.
weapon, the more you wish on weapon meta, the less
Plus,
relevant event
in
weapons
this
are.
iteration, the mysterious mage
Nicole.
Nicole has brought some novel writing inspiration for us.
All right, patch is good.
Oh,
It
you
includes
guys are
Nicole.
So good.
As usual, seems like this version's anecdotes have some surprises in store, so don't miss out.
Only
Travelers
good
can
one recently
also
see
look
Lolly
forward
Sword.
to
I think you're
new
just wrong,
music
but
being added to
I-
repertoire
if
of
you
myriad
are a meta
melodies,
brain rot player,
including
sure.
a brand
Okay.
new Not Cry album.
I'm glad you have all the good things in your account and you never have to worry about any alternative options for
In
anything
addition,
on your account.
travelers can purchase a new Remirian-style instrument from Bertone's House of Curiosities in Fontaine.
You're in a, but like recognize that you're in a, like I don't have to either. Event weapons tend to be pretty bad for my account, but my account is in a privileged position and is much more invested than the typical player's accounts might be.
Oh, travelers can also look forward to a new Not Cry inspired realm layout for the
Like
Serenity.
the event weapons are designed to do a pretty specific thing,
Ooh,
which is,
whoa. Oh, it has kind
in
of
my
like a
opinion, give
futuristic
is also
vibe,
a cool
doesn't it?
area. Wait, no, it's a teapot.
Plus, a wide
the
variety of
teapot?
indoor and outdoor furnishing sets and
What?
modules are also being added, so get ready to revamp
That's the
those
not
teapots.
what?
Yeah, I should put some furniture in mine.
Llamas is an event
Travelers
weapon,
can
yes.
also look forward to
Which is a really good
few
weapon.
updates to Genius
Oh, but it got
Invocation
nerfed.
TCG,
It's clearly
including
bad
a
because it got nerfed.
non-Cry-inspired card table and card back. In addition, there are new
Sorry,
players in the
I'm gonna be a
Not Cry
butthole
region
because I think it's a
waiting to be
very
challenged.
wrong take to say the event weapons are
Character
bad,
cards for
and you're
Anafa
just
and Nika
completely
and
ignoring what
a
they
gold
are
flame
intended to do in a game
Sword
design level
Pirate
for a very
Monster
large
are
chunk of the
now
player base.
also being added.
Plus, with the addition of Anefa,
Anyways.
lunar reactions have finally arrived in Genius Invocation TCG. Travelers can now build.
But if
even
you're a
more
hyper meta
diverse and
engaged player,
interesting deck
sure, they're not
strategies.
that good.
Travelers can
Were we gonna
also
expect
look
the free
forward
weapons to
new
be
envisaged
hyper meta?
Echoes challenges
That's
for
insane.
Hayato and
But even then, they
Ayaka.
sometimes are oftentimes good enough, like Llama's weapon, that is
Overflowing
just the weapon
Abundance
you
is
use on
also
Llama.
returning in Luna 5, so don't miss out on the chance to obtain double drops, guys.
Double.
Double drops.
Double
All
drops,
right,
wow.
all right, that brings us
More
to our
gambling.
final break.
In exchange
Now,
for a
at
free
the last
Varka, which is
redemption code,
less gambling.
travelers, we'll be right back.
Varka is free. We didn't have is before. Oh. That's the... Yeah, that's... Are they that desperate? Are they that desperate? To be clear, I know they're that desperate considering they're like, they paid me to do a sponsor video. But like, most event weapons have been solid? Yeah. Like, I could go over pretty much every event weapon and like go over the use cases of like, for the time it was released, what the intent behind this thing existing probably was. Sweeper mine. That's the one they wanted to show in the video that I couldn't find. I didn't know it was called. They in my document they gave me, they called it Minesweeper, but I couldn't find it. But apparently it's actually called Sweeper Mine. Anyways,
Welcome back.
the fact that they feel the need
A
to.
few updates to Milliastra Wonderland.
Oh boy.
First up, new outfits.
Are
and new
they going to
lobby
talk about
designers
actually
for
adding
5,
features
so
to the
let's take a look
content
at
rather
that.
than the gacha though?
Ooh, okay.
And like making it better for people to make shit, please. Milliastra has so much potential that they cannot neglect, but if they keep on doing, oh look at this kid and that's all that's important, like, you can't expect people to take Milliastra seriously if all you do is present it as a gambling for skins game mode. Anyways. It has potential. You gotta work on it, yo. Cool, that's only $700, guys. Hey, okay, Hoyoverse. If Varka is free, I'll pull for this, not the red one. Well, I'll pull for the baseline one. I assume the baseline one is a blue one. I'll give you money for their stupid fucking skins. Make Varka free, okay? I'll take the L on the money for me for the benefit of the whole player base. It's a cool environment, to be clear. I'm not gonna pay for it. Celestia skins? I guess that might be the vibe they're going for, yeah. Anyways, what was the code, by the way?
Whoa, this lobby template has such a majestic feel to it.
Visit Milliastra.
It really does. Oh, plus, a number of new interesting outfits are being added in the new version, including the Cloud Edge's Glory outfit set. Travelers can also complete the Raiment Collection event to obtain a free Milliastra Wonderland cosmetic.
Cool. I like the free skin.
Also, be sure to check out the Starlight Voyage event for the chance to obtain prismatic crystals.
Cool.
Oh, and that's not all. Play one popular Wonderland stage while wearing a set or try-on cape from the current season in the Wonderland Treasures event to earn Primogems.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. I want capes to come back in real life.
Wait. Guys, they're getting really desperate to get people to try Milliastra again. They're giving Primogems for trying Milliastra
Let's
now.
go cape shopping.
For sure.
I don't know exactly what that
In
involves,
addition,
but
the Milliastra Wonderland voice feature that was previously announced will officially
who buys these
launch
skins?
in
People who
Luna
like
5.
skins.
The voice feature is more than just a simple communication tool. Travelers will also get to experience new gameplay modes built around
Oh, there's
it.
voice chat now. Okay.
Ooh, awesome. Yeah,
Cool.
that should make it a lot easier to communicate with friends while exploring.
I actually think that's a good thing.
Wonderland. Right, Jeff?
Well, that brings us to the end of the Genshin Impact Luna
Wow,
5
that
special
was-
program.
Aw.
Any final remarks before we sign off?
Are you gonna mention Varka's free?
Yeah, that was enormous fun, and just super excited I am to introduce Varka and his dual wielding.
Yeah, Varka is absolutely the highlight of the patch, for sure.
Awesome.
Dual wield. So cool.
Voice chat to hear Kiwi better. No, there's no way that the voice chat in game is better than Genshin's netcode is so ass. There's no way the voice chat is better than Discord.
Super
Even with
fun
Kiwi's
to
problems
record.
with Discord.
It's such a good time, you guys.
I love it. I can't wait to see everyone's reaction.
He had zero.
to getting
I
a
know,
fantastic
know,
gift
Jason.
star
I
omen
know.
And getting to wield a crystal ball like a true witch.
Yeah, there have been so many things to look forward to, but I think there's a real clear winner.
Free Varka is the clear winner.
Bongo Head! I
Fa- okay,
must meet
fair.
Bongo Head!
Yay!
He is an icon, he is the heart of our generation, and he must be protected.
Yes, your new
This is true.
best friend forever.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for tuning in, travelers. It was wonderful to see you all again, and we'll see you in game.
Till next
Yay!
time. Bye.
Yay.
Bye.
Well, that was one of the Genshin streams of all time for version announcement streams. Yup. Where's my audio? I didn't enable it. Oops. Whoops. Sorry. Deal with the silence. I don't know. What's your thoughts, chat? The horse one was better. I mean, of course, the last one was better. Good luck getting Albedo and Varka. Albedo ain't happening. Oh well. No. Why? The same reason Zabai ain't happening. Look at my fucking resources. There ain't a world in hell that I end up getting Albedo. Sorry. Like, okay, sorry. The world that I get Albedo is the world in which I do 20 pulls on Varka banner, I get 2 Varkas, and I do a 10 pull on his weapon, and I get his weapon. Then fuck it, I'll go and wish for Albedo. But they have made the Mondstadt Chronicle banner show up at a time where I am not willing to commit to Albedo. Sorry. Yeah, that was not a great stream. Filler patch indeed for most players. I think Varka's gonna be really fun. Okay. Based on what I have seen from other people talking about Varka's kit, I think Varka is balanced in a way that is frankly confusing at C0 for a limited unit. And yeah, there's no free weapon for no free event weapon is okay, again, as a one-off thing, it's fine. As a one-off thing, getting a free weapons. Also, like, it's a cute skin. It's kind of like low detail. Like, it looks like the intern made it. I'm sorry. It's like someone applying for a job was tasked with, hey, your challenge for applying for a job is to make a custom weapon skin for our video game Genshin Impact, and then like for a 3D modeler or whatever. And then they're like, oh yeah, this is an adequate job for a person that did this work for free. Sorry. Like, it's cute, but it doesn't look like that much resource was put into it. Okay, let's be real. It didn't have that much detail. Proto Amber buff for the weapon skin. Yeah. It's a ball with a fucking hat on it, okay? And there's I don't know. As long as they don't just replace all event weapons with free, because mark my words, they replace event weapons with free weapons, there's going to be cases where it's like, oh great, this would have been a patch in the past that had a free event weapon that would have been the compelling weapon for insert relevant character here, right? But instead, like imagine for a goddamn second, the reality where Llama's kit is the exact same, but this weapon doesn't exist. Instead, they give a weapon skin for free. Right? To explain my negativity on that. It's not that there's no other weapons, but everyone would use Fav. And Llama would be a worse character. And maybe that's a good thing. But then you have to deal with fucking building some crit on her. It's just like, ugh. So anyways, Lohen's screenshots are very low res, but say he's cryo because it looks like his vision is on his shoulder, but take it with a grain of salt. Hydra because blue, yeah. I mean, we had a rumor that he was cryo. I'm not going to cope that he's actually... To be clear, if Lohen is a DPS, but he was holding Fav, like, a cryo DPS for poems only could actually be pretty damn impactful. But, I don't know. I don't have super high hopes. We'll see. I have a guarantee on pole arms only. Maybe it gets used for that. Maybe it gets used for C6 Raiden. Surely they don't release a hyper niche restrictive character that has no relevant team options as the next polearm 5-star. Surely they don't also release a 5-star that's worth skipping a polearms only. Anyways. So, my polling plans, I plan to get C0 R1 Varka at a baseline. And we'll see what happens. Lohen's a 5-star? Fuck if I know. I don't know. I don't work at Hoyo. So, maybe he's standard banner. They said there was going to be a standard banner character this year, and I'll tell you, he didn't give that flashy of a design vibes, and he's holding Fav. So, if he's a 5-star, there's a non-zero chance he's a standard character. So, anyways. By the way, please, if you have me on your friends list, unless there's a particular reason to, don't message me here. When I'm on stream, it's better to message me in chat. You're just splitting my attention between multiple things, and I don't like that. Of course, if he's a 4-star, please put on Llama rerun. Yeah, I'd actually rather he be a 4-star personally than a 5-star standard character. One, because it probably means he has a higher chance of being a better character at this point. And two, I tend to enjoy 4-stars more, so they tend to have more creative kits, whereas standard characters can have creative kits too. I don't know. I want him to have an interesting kit. Okay, that's all, at minimum. Alternatively, if he can be a compelling DPS, standard banner or no, if he's made to be a DPS, that'd be cool. Because they could have just shoved Fab on him because, you know, they don't want to show a signature weapon, blah, 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 blah. But they could have showed any other DPS polearm. I don't know, but maybe it's just because it looks generically good, right? Like, what generic accessible polearms would have made sense to show off if he was a DPS? I mean, the Nod Cry craftable. But then that would have implied, like, lunar things, so they wouldn't have wanted to show that. And, like, red weapons would have looked ugly on him. Dragon's Bane would have been, yeah, this, like... So, you know what? That's my cope. I mean, they could, well, okay, they could have showed him with this. But also this implies off-field. So, maybe they didn't want to imply anything with his kits, just threw a Fab on him. Because he's a Mondstadt character. Fab is neutral, matches everyone. Yeah, and he's probably a Favonius-oriented character too. So that's the reason Fab's on him, guys. It's not because he's a support. He's definitely not a cope support. Please. He's definitely a relevant DPS that I can use in polearms only. Surely. Yunjin uses Dragon's Bane and Fremine uses the Bell in official artwork. Yeah. There's not a lot of strong correlation to relevant weapons when they show things off, but... Anyways, so it's not worth overanalyzing, but he is a polearm unit. Oh yeah, we can input the codes. Varka funds. Hey, for some people, technically for some people, this is enough for a free Varka. Technically, I'm at pity, but guys, so technically for me, it might indeed be free Varka. Just ignore all the pity I have. Oh god. Varka arrives. Free. Damn. Oh well, I tried. I tried my best, guys. I can't believe Visit Wonderland is one of the codes. Things must be dire for, like... I hope they recognize how much they fucked up in their initial presentation of Wonderland. Right? Like... I think they've realized now how they initially presented Wonderland in 6.0 was a terrible, terrible thing. And on top of other issues it had in 6.0. Oh, and now they're like spending a bunch of money trying to get people like, no, please give it a shot. And to be clear, I do think way too many people are way too dismissive of Wonderland. I think it actually has a lot of potential to just be a cool, fun game mode. But also there's a lot of justifiable reasons people are ignoring it. So like... Is Varka even worth polling for? Do you like Varka? Then pull Varka. Look, the strategy to actually fucking have fun with the game is to pull the characters you like and that seem fun to play, and then do the things you can do to whatever you're willing to invest in for pulling supports for him, for how much you want to invest in his build, whether or not you want to pull a 5-star weapon. What it seems like though is that his power level, based on what other people have said, from analyzing his kit and whatever, is you are more likely to feel like you need to invest in something additionally, whether that be 5-star supports or signature weapon, or invest heavily into his build, or min-max his gameplay. Elsewise, you might feel more pressure to do that than you do with, say, a Zibai. Because at like equivalent investment level, he's probably going to perform worse. And it seems like the most realistic explanation for this is that Nicole is likely a Hexarai unit. That'd be surprising if she wasn't. And is probably intended to be a good unit for his teams. The problem is also, one of the things we do know is the way his, like... I think the fun thing about Varka is that he's a modal DPS, right? I think he's a very, very fun unit. I think he might end up becoming one of my favorite main DPSs. I want to be clear with that. But also, because of his balance, I think I'm going to be inclined towards getting his signature weapon at minimum. And I might be in the mood of my birthday, because his banner is definitely going to be up on my birthday, to be like, yeah, fuck it. Birthday gift for myself is try to get C1 Varka, right? I saw better res low hand is cryo. Fuck. Okay, it's fine. We could have coped if there's a Hydra support, but oh well. Now we need to cope. Now I'm talking for poems only. Now I get to cope, but he's a good DPS at some level, surely. Could be Anim. Oh god, that would be bad. Well, okay, no. I shouldn't say it'd be bad. It could be actually quite good. You have C2 Dura and Varka be useful for you. Okay, you didn't listen. You're not listening to what I was about to say. Same thing. Same problem with Nicole. Same problem with Duran. As soon as you put a pyro unit in the team, as soon as you put in a pyro unit in the team, pyro unit is the highest priority order for his conversion. If you have a single pyro unit in the team, Varka is doing pyro damage. Right? This limits some pun potential for him. Right? This is why, like, my ideal vision of a modal animo DPS, while Varka is by far the closest we've gotten to that, Lanyan is kind of that in a weird way. Like, Lanyan in some ways, like, I can put Hydro and Pyro in the team, and I could, in theory, intentionally, Bennett causes it to basically default to, if I remove Bennett, basically, I can, like, basically ensure that I got a Hydro infusion on her skill rather than a Pyro infusion, for example. Bennett's self-applied Pyro aura means, like, Lanyan almost always gets Pyro anyways. But if I remove Bennett, right? Like, I have the ability to control, regardless of team comp, as long as the element is present, I could, in theory, control that with Lanyan. The problem with Lanyan is her elemental damage is balanced in a way to be a minor additional form of damage, not something that you can usually truly build around. She's mostly an ammo damage dealer that has some additional elemental damage, and that's cool. It's a fun thing every kit, but you need much more of the converted element damage to actually be like a real conversion element DPS. And Varka is a real conversion element DPS. He does majority damage of his converted element, but because he's not based on an infusion like Lanyan is, where it, you know, checks for elements on the enemy or self-applied to your character to do the damage, he only checks for your team comp. It's like Chaska, but Chaska just does like randomized bullets of things. So Chaska, you don't control anything at all other than the team comp. Varka's the same thing. You don't control anything at all other than the team comp, but you can control more because you can control the team comp and have him do one specific element. And so I think Varka's a lot more fun of an idea than Chaska's get, for sure. But they definitely simplified things down to make him not complicated to use. Like, because it'd be more, because let's be real, I don't think we're ever going to get a compelling 5-star DPS that does what I want, where it's like Lanyan, but like much more significant multiplier value from the converted damage. I don't think we're ever going to get that because the average player doesn't understand infusions, even though it's literally the first mechanic that was introduced to you in the game. It's literally the first thing that the game teaches you about the combat, and I bet you 99% of the player base doesn't know what it is or how it works. So, you know. Anyways. Yep. He needs one extra 5-star pull to be competitive with Varessa. Yeah, that's kind of where he's at. And it seems to be, the best guess is that Nicole is intended to uplift him significantly. The thing is, if Nicole uplifts him, I think the most reasonable assumption is that Nicole is meant to be a Hexerai Bennett. Now, how restrictive will she be? What kinds of team comps will she enable that are interesting? I don't fucking know. But I don't know what her exact kit looks like. I'm not going to give you a meaningful analysis of that. Just pure hypothetically. I think it is likely that Nicole replaces Bennett in like Varka's best team. And that could be a very significant improvement for him. And will very likely potentially bring his teams up to perform at the same level of other teams. Like other non-cry DPSs, whatever, right? Like premium team versus premium team. But I think it will require more 5-star investment to get to that point on a spreadsheet level equivalence, whatever. And it like I don't know. Like I don't know, right? And on top of that, Nicole might do just as much for like on-field Durin or more. Maybe Nicole will be better for on-field Durin than she is for Varka. Right? Maybe Nicole will uplift freaking Razor because he's a Hexerite DPS. Maybe keep in mind that you could pull Klee, by the way. There could be a strong argument on a meta level, depending on the state of her account. I don't think there's a strong argument on a generic level to just default recommend pulling her, but there could be an argument that it would be more of an uplift on the power level of your account if you have the right supports for it. And these are more 4-star supports versus Varka wants more 5 stars. If you pulled Klee on the Chronicle banner next patch instead of Varka. Particularly factoring the fact that with the Constellation Selector, you can get a free C1 Klee. And there's also thinking, we don't know this, but we think this might reset in the year. So like I chose Yai, I might be able to get another copy of Yai next year when version 7.0 resets. It might be possible to get a C2 Klee for free over time. If that's the case, I think Klee for the average player, if they're not investing anything additionally in Varka, Klee at equivalent investment level stomps Varka's ass as far as like what total team DPS performance potential is. And it's likely Nicole could uplift Klee too. Right. So even if she's just restricted to being like a Hexerite buffer. So that's the weird thing with this balance at C0. Also, on a gameplay level... No, I shouldn't say this. Sorry. Look, shielders are good. For no particular reason, I will say shielders are really good to a lot of people. And there's a reason people like shielders. And shielders have been less necessary lately on an interruption resistance level because they just make a lot of character abilities uninterruptible now. Because it like makes characters feel better to play for the typical player. And makes them... Like the moment you get... Like if you try Varka and you get whacked around all the damn time when you're not using a shield with him, probably makes a lot of players feel less inclined towards pulling him even with his flashy animations. Because you don't get to see his flashy animations if he's getting whacked around by a hamster spinning at Mach 10. So if Varka has poopy interruption resistance... That means some spreadsheet assumptions that even have him as where he is with the better buffer slots, because like Venti can buff Varka more than Lonyan can, right? Lonyan can buff him, but not as much as Venti can. Well, if we're factoring in needing a shield, then he might perform even worse for a lot of players by feeling a need to use a shield. So like. Mark my words, I am going to be positive on Varka because I am quickly barreling in the direction of fuck caring about Stygian and fuck pulling characters for Stygian and fuck pulling characters for endgame in general. Because I mean, it's the same story where you pull supports is far more relevant than ever. But they are barreling down a direction of designing enemies in a way that makes it unfun. And when you happen to have teams that fit a particular enemy that like my hot take is I actually think the lunar dog, yeah, it's not Cry Shield, but at the very least it succeeds. I can't see the enemy here, can I? I can. Good. This thing at the very least it succeeds at being quite fun to fight with not Cry teams at minimum, right? It is. Yeah, I like this enemy. So sometimes they do release enemies that yes shield for particular things, but they're still fun to fight with that shield. Sometimes they release enemies that shield particular things that aren't even fun to fight with the thing they're shielding, with the team archetypes they're shielding. So, I don't know. Anyways, what am I getting at here? If you have Skirk or Skofi as a big boost, yeah, like you should probably, if you want to continue to use Skirk in more situations, you should consider pulling a Skofi for her. It would uplift her significantly. So... Anyways, yeah, Varka I think seems to be balanced around Nicole. It probably implies Nicole is a really strong character, to me, because otherwise I don't get why the fuck they would make him this weak relative to other DPSs. It just makes him, and to be clear, you shouldn't pull based on assuming this will be the case. I'm just saying I think it's likely that he will be better over time, at least in his best team. But I think Nicole will exaggerate the issue, though, which is the major issue I have with him, in that Varka's best team, aka just boring-ass fucking mono pyro, where you're just playing with 2 pyro, 2 anima, which is like his most boring team comp, by the way, but it's definitely his best one. Nicole releasing is going to exaggerate that, I worry. But I have some optimism that depending on what Nicole's kit looks like, it could still actually improve his versatility for team options in general. He'd still be a pyro DPS as soon as you include Nicole, but we shall see. I think I'm going to like him. I think he's going to be one of my favorite characters to play. But, you know, my standard of evaluation doesn't need every character to be used in Stomp, Stygian Onslaught with my eyes closed. Right? I like Stygian Onslaught existing for justifying the reason to, like, min-max gameplay or min-max builds for, like, really strong characters. Like, Skirk feels like a fucking pointless character to have without Stygian Onslaught, quite frankly. With her premium team, that is. But to be clear, Abyss is becoming harder, but you still don't need like full-ass premium Skirk to clear Abyss, for sure. And I think Abyss is more fun if you don't have premium Skirk. So, anyways, that's my personal take for how I enjoyed the game. I don't need characters to be Omega strong. The problem is that the value of Varka to me, and the fun value of Varka, is doing different shenanigans with him being a modal DPS. And the way they have designed him seems to be that if you do want to do shenanigans with him, your experience doing shenanigans is going to be potentially much worse than doing not shenanigans, than just doing the boring thing of playing his best team. And his best team is not going to be that incredible feeling compared to the best team of other characters, other DPS that are released recently. So it just puts him in this really awkward middle ground. So only pull him if you want him, to be clear. I think he's not going to be like, he's not so bad that it's going to be like, oh god, he's impossible to use. That's way an over exaggeration. Anyone saying that does not understand the game's combat. He's going to be fine. He is perfectly fine. He is a balanced unit in a sea of unbalanced characters they have released lately, I would say. Decided to pull Z-Buy or skipping? I am hard skipping. I am all in a Varka, yo. I am all in a Varka. If someone gave me 400 wishes right now, if you gave me 400, don't do this. If someone dumped 400 wishes on me because they're insane, and be like, no, fuck you, pulls the buy. I'd say fuck you in return. I'm pulling C82 Varka with your pulls. Thank you. Sing show review? Sure. Sorry, Girl Mender, I forgot. What's your UID? How many primos do you have? Not enough. Don't worry. We win our 50-50 for Varka, and then I get his weapon in a 10 pull, and we free. Surely. To be clear, I have enough to get to pity on weapon banner. Like, I'm at pity. If I win a 50-50, go to pity on weapon banner, the game doesn't troll the shit out of me by giving me Flynn's weapon. I got enough to get to pity. I still got the rest of this patch, too, on weapon banner. Like, I just need to win a 50-50, guys. It'll be easy. The one time I need to win a 50-50 is probably Varka, if I want his weapon, to be clear. If I lose a 50-50, I have to go to double pity, I'll be a little sad. Are you free to play? No, I'm a content creator. I spend money because I need to spend money to make content sometimes, in my opinion. To be clear, if I made very smart decisions and, like, min-max the hell out of my wishing resources, I wouldn't have to spend money. I could be a Zajef, to be clear. I know how to do that. I think it makes the game less fun to me. I like to engage with a little gamba brain rot, and I can use my position as a content creator as an excuse to do some gamba brain rot things sometimes. So no, I'm not free to play. But I also don't just spend money every patch, and I don't want to. Right. I haven't done any top-ups this patch, for example. I actually haven't done any for as far as the last since Varesa banner. So I spent a little bit to try to get C6 Eons on, and got Varesa and 2 copies of Sean Noonan getting C6 Eons on. But since then, the only top-ups I did was for getting Duran C2. Well, sorry, I did top-ups wishing on Galen banner when I already had C6. Technically, I did top-ups for Lanyon level 100, but that was for a specific gimmick video that didn't perform well, so I kind of regret doing it. I didn't gain anything from that wishing session other than level 100 Lanyon, and that was up to my community to decide. Okay, so, and also level 100 Lanyon is like a relatively small gain. It's a gain, Don't get me wrong, but it's not like a difference maker on whether or not I clear content. I can tell you C2 Durin does a lot more for Lonnie than level 100. Anyways, I made the decision to spend money. That wasn't really just a content decision like the stupid level 100 wishing video was, which was meant to be an intentionally stupid thing to illustrate how, like, you shouldn't do this, but you still could do this if you're a particular kind of weird player where you're just hell-bent on min-maxing one character in particular. You could, particularly when a Chronicle banner comes around, when you like can wish for specifically a standard banner C6 Mondstadt character, you could do something as dumb as wishing specifically on Chronicle banner for a character you already have C6 of to level 100 your favorite character. Because there's some people that are just hell-bent on getting the maximum potential from their characters, and level 100 is relevant for that, right? There's a lot of characters, if you're hell-bent on, not every character gains equivalent value, but like generically it's like a 10-ish, 5 to 10% DPS upgrade for most characters. Not never gains literally nothing from level 100, by the way. Don't do that. So, Dolphin or a whale, does it fucking matter? What's the stream title? Is it Barka for Varka? Did I not never activate the Emily con? No. This was... I don't feel like explaining this. It's never being activated, guys. Deal with it. So... Anyways, yeah, no. So the only thing I spent money on for a character actually on my account was this. And I could have made different decisions. I could have avoided that. I could have still gotten C2 Durin without having to do top-ups. But I've been buying the Battle Pass and Welkins, to be clear. Battle Pass and Welkins contribute more than any individual top-up has. So that's for damn sure. But most people would probably label me as a Dolphin in the sense that, like, when there is a thing that I decide I really want, I will just spend the money to get it. But that doesn't happen that often. So, but it might happen again with Varka for C1. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how happy I am at a baseline with C0R1 on my account. How does Mies feel about the unactivated EmilyCon? I think he thinks it's fine. The one of the main reasons I refuse to activate this is, again, I don't want to explain why I got it. The why I got it is dumb and related to content creation. I didn't make a video getting it. It was initially a fuck it. I was fine winning the 50-50, losing the 50-50. But I forgot about a future video I had planned that wishing on the banner actually ruined the whole concept of the video, and I don't feel like explaining it because it's not fucking worth explaining, particularly because the concept of the video was also stupid in hindsight because we didn't actually understand how the system worked at that point. I thought I did, but I thought that Mihoyo was being fucking truthful in how they described the system. Why do you have Fab? Oh, because yeah, I remember. So, anyways, no, like R1 Emily is already a significant enough changer for how she performs that I don't want to activate C1. And I'm a bit of an Emily salesman, so I'd much rather be a salesman of C0 Emily than a C1 Emily. Like C1 R1 Emily is like potentially getting close to 50 to 100% better than Emily is at a baseline. That is too much, and I don't want to. I think that showcasing Emily stuff with C1 R1 Emily would be an anti-Emily salesman, in my opinion. Anyways, I did a top up for Zuba and I feel guilty, but I'm liking her a lot. I don't think she should feel bad if it's, I don't know, like, I don't think anyone should feel bad about spending money, like, as long as you spend in moderation, you know, right? Like if you spend a little bit of money on occasion to acquire a character that you think is really fun and you're enjoying the game, and you, like, if you spend hundreds of hours playing Genshin per year, right? And like you buy out the top-up shop per year and buy Welkins and Battle Pass, you're spending the equivalent of like $20 a month. Ish. I think it's a little bit more, depending on, or a little bit less depending on where you live and whatever services you choose to use. But like, donate that money instead. I mean, you can, sure. But let's be real. You're fucking lying if, like you're lying if you never bought anything for yourself. I don't disagree with you. Like I've said before, where like if someone gave me $1,000 and said use it on Zibai, if you gave me $1,000, like, to be fair, like the example I gave before was like if you gave me 500 wishes directly, that's different than $1,000. If you gave me $1,000, not 1,000 wishes, not in game, because I can't control whether or not someone gives me wishes directly. But if you were to give me money and tell me to use that money for wishing on a character, and it's a lot of money, I'd not use it immediately, because someone giving me $1,000 easily could be something there's plenty of examples of streamers being donated a large chunk of money that ends up getting like charged back, and then the streamer actually loses money because someone donates an overly large amount of money that they end up doing a chargeback on. But anyways, the fucking character review, sorry. The point is, yes, if someone gave me $1,000, I'd be like, no, I'm not going to spend that. If they give me $1,000 and then they say in their donation message, hey, I gave you this money to go get C60 by, I'd say no. I would just say no. Page unresponsive, guys. I don't know if I can... Is Enka down? No, there we go. That's weird. Why is that page not working? Alright, Singcho first. Like, I would say no. I'm not going to give $1,000 to them after you give $1,000 to me or something. I'm just going to be like, no, here, fine, I'll give you some gamba, and the rest of the money is going elsewhere, but I'll also have to wait to see if you just do a chargeback on me, right? But then, let's be real, though. As far as, like, $100 is a lot of money, sure. $100 is a lot of money to a lot of people. That can buy you a lot of things, depending on your living situation. But it's also, in the grand scheme of things, not that much money. And ask yourself for a second how much money it costs to like go out to watch the movie. Watch a movie. And dare you fucking not only buy a ticket for the movie, which tends to be quite a bit more expensive nowadays. Dare you fucking watch one movie per month, and you buy a popcorn and soda, and your logic for that isn't that it's worth the money, but you buy the popcorn and soda because you're a savvy person who wants to support physical, real businesses in the real world, and you're fine with spending a little bit of money on overpriced, unhealthy shit that makes the movie watching experience more enjoyable at a theater for you, and you're fine with that because it supports the business of the theater providing the service to you. And you know that the theater gets money from you watching the movie when you buy popcorn and whatever, because they don't get as much money from the ticket sale. Well, guess what? You can easily spend fucking $20 to $30 on yourself watching one movie a month. One movie per month in the theater. Per fucking month. So, like, let's be real. Is it that big a deal to spend an average of $20 to $30 a month on Genshin if it's like one of your main hobbies? Because that's something that I think people can't get over sometimes. If you're a normal, typical gamer, you might not realize how, like, it's not that like gaming is someone's hobby, it's that Genshin can be someone's hobby, right? It's your money. If you feel like you get value out of it, I don't think you should feel bad for it. You shouldn't feel fucking guilty. You shouldn't have to justify it other than you wanted it. Do I feel like you need to be smart with it? You shouldn't like give them overly much money, sure, but I don't know. And I sure as hell feel like when I don't agree with everything MiHoYo does, but I sure as fuck feel like my money is better spent on MiHoYo than it is given to a lot of companies I've seen, quite frankly. So, how fucking expensive are movies in America? The movie itself is not usually that expensive. It's the popcorn and other shit that they try to get you to buy. Like, if I wanted, like, most people will end up spending $20 to $30 going and watching a movie if they buy any amount of, like, drink or snack at the theater. And theaters ban, quote-unquote, people always sneak shit in, but not always. Depends who you are. They ban whatever. So, you want to know why? Like, when I go to the theater, I rarely go to the theater, so it's not, like, a meaningful expense to me if, like, my brother invites me to go watch a movie once or twice per year. If I want to buy stuff there, but I end up not buying. I'm a stubborn butthole, and I end up not buying, like overpriced popcorn or whatever the fuck from the theater or soda, because I have to wait in a line for way too fucking long, and also every time I go to the theater, there's some like annoying issue that happens that degrades the experience that it pisses me off too. And it's usually something the theater could have addressed, not just like the audience being cringe or something. So, anyways. This is a flop Zyphos R5 or R1. R1 is weird. Well, I don't, you have enough ER. And substats is probably fine. Yeah, it's probably fine. Anyways, I assume this is a Nilou Llama team build. Maybe not Llama, I don't see Llama. I don't even know if you're still here, sorry. Oh, there's own a real horse as a hobby? Yeah. There's a million times fucking, like, even with people that giga whale and shit, my god, there are people's hobbies that are far more expensive. Like, normal humans that aren't considered rich people. My dad, one of my dad's, this is comparison I do all the time. One of his main hobbies is fucking fishing, guys. He likes fishing. He likes fishing a lot. In his adult life, in like this was a few years ago now, he bought a boat. A really fucking expensive boat by normal person standards. And to be clear, I think my family, I think my parents think they are less financially well off than they are. Like, they are much more financially well off than they realize relative to most of the country. But the fact that they can do this at all, to be clear. But they are definitely not rich. Like, they're definitely not rich. Rods and reels are expensive. They are in a living position where it's one of his main hobbies. So yeah, he bought like a fucking $10,000 boat. Each day is a new page, and it gets used a few times a year. I want to savor every scene, every it gets used before I turn to the next one. Probably 10 times or less a year. And a $10,000 boat, that is far more than I will ever spend on Genshin. I have spent more on Genshin than I think I'm proud of, but also I think a large chunk of the money is something that was made specifically for content. So like, it's weird for me and not a direct like it's a fucking hobby, yo. And if it's like a meaningful part of your life and you feel like you get value from it, why the fuck does it matter? And and like, I have confidence at minimum that when I give Hoyoverse money, it's getting put into making other things that I think are relevant to exist. Because I think Hoyoverse, yes, I have qualms with gacha games. I have qualms with their business practices. I don't think they're perfect. But on average, I really appreciate that what they do with the money is they try making other things with the money they get. Right? When I give Hoyoverse money, it's a job for you. Yeah, but okay. Is it a job for me to play Zenless? I spend far more money. Not more money in Zenless. I don't necessarily spend more money in Zenless in general, but I have spent more money than I would have liked to in Zenless, particularly in hindsight. And I don't make Zenless content, you know, but I feel more fine giving them money for Zenless because I like Zenless as a video game. The combat system is, I think, one of the best combat systems in video games, period. I think Zenless is weird and going in an odd direction, and I continually can't strongly universally recommend it to people, necessarily. But I feel more fine giving Hoyoverse money when I know that money goes into potentially making other cool things. Even if the Hoyoverse puts that money that they make off of me and others into making video games that I don't give a shit about. Like, I probably won't care about Honkai, Anima, whatever the fuck. I think it's cool that my money goes into creation of something and goes into letting other people, like, make video games. I think that's cool. I think that's cool. So, the Pokemon game? Yeah, like, it's not gonna, I don't think I'm gonna enjoy it. I don't even know if I'm gonna try it. But I'm glad my money goes somewhere into making something rather than, I don't know. I feel more fucking qualms buying shit on Amazon than giving Hoyoverse money, quite frankly. Like, I feel like buying from Amazon contributes more negatively to society than fucking buying a gacha game sometimes. Anyways. Obviously, it's more nuanced. It's a weird comparison to draw in the first place. I get it, but I hope you understand the sentiment, at least I'm getting at. Anyways, this is a good flop Saint-Joe build. You can't really get much better than this. As long as you have enough ER, it's a good build. I didn't really finish my thought before. So, Your money's going into replacing human workers with 100% less quality results. Yeah. So, till Amazon buys Hoyo, yeah, or Hoyoverse goes public. I can tell you if Hoyoverse, well, I don't know if going public is a thing in China. Is it? I don't know. I guess the equivalent of going public in the U.S., which is, I think, in my opinion, is like the death toll, whatever, for a company in my mind most of the time. Because now it means they're beholden to shareholders. Like going public means you're beholden to shareholders. Like, I'm not saying private companies are inherently always better, right? Or that the publicly traded company system is inherently flawed. There is reasons it exists and whatever. There's nuance to things. But as a generalization, I would say the only companies I tend to actually like are private companies. And the companies, by companies I like, I mean companies that make things that I like. So, Steam is private? Yeah. They'd be insta-bought by Tencent and nothing changes? Yeah. That's kind of my thinking, is like the equivalent of a problem. Like, I would feel more problems like giving money to Hoyoverse if they were bought by Tencent, I would say. Like, that's the equivalent maybe of going public to me for Hoyoverse's situation. So, anyways, but yeah, like it's not just shareholders squeezing money violently. It's like legally, like companies are supposed to prove and that they are doing what they can to increase shareholder value when a company is public. Which is why you have like this whole fucking mess with short-term looking at squeezing out every little bit of profit and whatever. Like, it's not the only problem with our current societal structures, but I think a major contributing factor is not like capitalism is inherently flawed, but the systems we have implemented underneath capitalism incentivize very negative things. And one of those side effects of that, I think, is many flaws in public trading of stocks and so much of like the economy and people's well-being and their livelihoods being functionally tied up in this wackadoodle system where people are incentivized to look at short-term profit gain and cut costs and and that benefits, and all that really serves to do is benefit a very small number of people at the expense of most other people. So yeah, I don't like giving money to Amazon. Do I still sometimes? Yeah. Because sometimes I do need the convenience, but I try to go out of my way to avoid it if I can. Anyways. Doesn't Tencent already have some hand in Hoyoverse? Unless the Chinese government fucking tried to strong-arm things, not as far as I'm aware. In fact, as far as I'm aware, Tencent and Hoyoverse have beef because Hoyo... The story goes, I have no idea the truth of this, right? It seems believable based on what I researched about it a while ago, but I don't remember the details that much. But I believe the story goes that Hoyoverse was originally seeking funding for like trying to fund, for example, Genshin. Because believe it or not, before Genshin, Hoyoverse did not have as much money. Crazy. And Genshin was a really expensive game to make in the first place. Like version 1.0. You had to put a lot of money into making a game like this in the first place. And it's a big risk. When Hoyoverse was making Genshin, they didn't fucking know that Genshin would be successful as it was. And there's a very good chance it wouldn't have been anywhere near as successful as it was if they hadn't just gotten fucking lucky with the pandemic, right? And they were seeking funding. And the story goes that they were seeking funding and investment from Tencent. And that Tencent said no. Tencent did not believe that the product they were making, Genshin, was worth the risk to invest in. And so the story goes that, Genshin succeeded anyways, without Tencent's funding, which would have likely involved Tencent having a share in Hoyoverse. And Hoyoverse now, Carl Pei, whatever, secretly always rejects any kind of Tencent involvement in them, supposedly. And yes, I do think it was for the best. I bet Hoyoverse's products would be worse if Tencent owned a large chunk of the company. So, And yes, however, yes, it's very important that, like, you know, if you go look up Cognosphere, the main company that, like, actually, like, publishes all the games and is the controlling company of everything, basically. Like, the reason Cognosphere exists in Singapore does seem to be to avoid China politics things and whatever. Like, technically, Hoyoverse is, you know, on a legal level, in many ways, a Singapore company. But then their developers are working from China and whatever, so... Anyways, Genshin and Wuwa were owned by Hoyo. Whoa. That Chronicle banner is chopped AF. Yeah. Is there anything positive to say about the Chronicle? Also, wait, there's a Noel review, wasn't there? Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, by the way. Like, asking me to do fucking character reviews in a goddamn reacting to whatever stream is a... You should have expected this, I'm sorry. Okay, where is the freaking UID? Well, change of spirit. There you go. Are you still here? Hopefully you're still here. Is my Columbina ranking? Is there a Columbina leaderboard? Should I cautious scam Columbina? Why are you blooping? Oh, I put it in the... Whoops. Does Akasha have a leaderboard now? If so, maybe I can cautious scam some Columbina stuff. With Albeid, at least. But I don't think my Albeid Columbina is that good. It would be like top 5% probably. Oh, I meant Anefa. Oh. I would have number 1 Anefa if my circlet rolled better. I believe when I Akasha scammed around Deathmatch, and the reason I say it's Akasha scamming, I think it's Akasha scamming if it's not actually ability to use. Like, I'm not actually doing Deathmatch in EFA because I have better options. I think I would have number 1 in EFA if I had Staff of Scarlet Sands, or sorry, if there was a Staff of Scarlet Sands leaderboard, because Staff of Scarlet Sands changes stat distribution relevance. It's to a significant degree, such that there's no close equivalent ranking for Staff of Scarlet Sands to match the existing leaderboards. But anyways, despite the fact that I have a much more compelling build for Staff of Scarlet Sands, I have a number 5 build for Deathmatch. So, yup. Anyways, stream so early? Yes. We'll be ending soon, TM. Also brutal. That's actually brutal. There she is. We were reacting to the live stream. Reviewing builds? No, not really. I left character redeems on Twitch, which I should have turned them off. People redeem points on Twitch. Sorry, YouTube. YouTube doesn't have a point system. Go ask YouTube to implement smart live stream features. They don't want to for some reason. I could maybe do it myself, but it's a lot of work to do something that seems to just not be... Yeah, anyways. This is a ridiculous Noel, by the way. What the fuck?
Like, where should I put my hands when I'm nervous?
I'm sorry, there's no Noel leaderboard, right? No. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the best Noel I've seen. Like, what the fuck? You have 160 ER. Like, you don't have a dead stat. The post lunar crystallize, you don't. Sorry, technically the flat HP. The flat HP could have been an EM roll for lunar crystallize. I think this is the best Noel build I've seen. Like, sure, like, if Akasha had a leaderboard for it, it wouldn't rank well because, you know, Akasha would assume hyper min-max 130 ER Noel that you always funnel fab particles to and whatever the fuck. But let's be real, if you're actually a Noel player and you play her in a variety of teams to any regularity, you probably find you want more ER to have more flexibility with her for both team composition and overall gameplay, so it's not as punishing. Flat HP is sad. I mean, well, come on. Okay. What exactly could actually be better about this timepiece? Like, I'm sorry. Like, it was a joke. Is this a 50 also? Wait, 16.7, 32, 33. No, it's not a 50. Oh, no, sorry. It's only like a 48 crit value. Oh, it could have a... Like, Yeah, how many substats is it? We'll ignore the EM, but the EM is a technically relevant substat for technically relevant substat for lunar crystallize. But let's see, we have it's oh man, sorry. 14 crit rate is 4. That's 5 rolls, right? That's yeah, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wait, no. Sorry, that's 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's that's a 9. That's max. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So max value in feather and flower. And we'll count the flat def as half. So the flat def here and flat def here is 1 roll. This I believe is an 8 roll, right? We have 1, 2. Yeah, this I think is 8. So we have 26, 27 counting the flat, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Fucking high rolls in crit, man, too. 36, 37, 38. It's over 40 if we count all the... It's over fucking 40 if we count all the ER. Jesus Christ. It literally gives you a roll breakdown? Oh, no. Fuck that. I like counting. Anyways. Hey, look, I can finish my resin and we'll at least wait for that. What were we talking about? Lamau, what is that title? Barka or Varka? It's Varka Day. Well, Varka Announcement Day. Which was 2 minutes of Varka and... God, it was such a terrible stream. Oh, God, this stream was terrible. Yeah, Chronicle Banner. You have about Chronicle Banner. Actually, no. I'm going to finish with... Oh, God, because I'm going to be wishing the fucking banner because I want Varka's Sig weapon. Please let me get his Sig without... Okay, to be clear. I wouldn't... I think I would gain an upgrade for my... there is a team context in particular that I like playing with the Nefa, with Dia, where I would normally switch to Skyward Spine. I think Flynn's weapon for a Nefa is basically Skyward Spine Pro Max. Okay? Because it gives energy and it gives it more crit. And it gives some lunar damage bonus that I believe she gets. What does Flynn's weapon do exactly? Let me double check. How much do I have to cope here? No, that's not what I don't need Flynn's himself. Also, yeah, I'm not getting Flynn's on rerun, by the way. I know I said I was considering in the past. No, I'm all in Varka. Fuck Flynn's. Also, I would have considered Flynn's more if they weren't hyper-shilling Flynn's as much as they are. The fact that they're so hardcore hyper-shilling Flynn's with Knuckle Duckle next patch makes me, quite frankly, kind of mad. And I'm not going to reward Hoyoverse for their hyper-shilling by providing a data point that, yes, this player that skipped Flynn's before pulled Flynn's on rerun. Clearly, our shilling strategy was a success. I want to tell them their shilling strategy is not a success to me. Even if I can't clear Dire because of it, I don't give a shit. I refuse. I'm skipping Flynn's out of protest now. Sorry. I do like the boy, but I have him on my Polearm account. I enjoy him on my Polearm account. He's not a fundamentally different experience on my main account, other than I could play him in more teams. And I don't like him enough. I think I will like Varka more. So I'd rather get Varka or do more Varka copies and get an additional Flynn's copy. So yes, it is a peaceful protest of, no, I will not, and I will not reward your bad behavior. Bad child. Stop shilling this hard. Good shill. If you want to shill lunar things like the lunar dog, I like it. You want to shill Flynn's with Knuckle Duckle? And how Knuckle Duckle is designed? Dislike. Where the fuck is this thing? Sorry. Alright. So, wait. Also, sorry, I just realized. I also... When Raiden reruns, I have C1 Raiden. I've had C1 Raiden for quite a while. The reason I have C1 Raiden on my main account is because I got C1 Raiden and going for Shivers. This is a good weapon for C1 Raiden. Or, sorry, C1 Raiden. This is a good weapon for C2 Raiden in particular. She can trigger this. And she wants energy refunding. And crit and high base attack. So, okay, you know what? I'm not that unhappy. You do have to trigger a lunar charge reaction, I believe, on field to trigger this passive. That's not hard to do. You can just do, like, you know, Columbina E. Like, I should be able to trigger a lunar charge reaction consistently. So, this is a compelling weapon for Nefa. For me, it's a compelling weapon for whatever. And like, especially if I'm bursting every rotation on Nefa, which would be nice. I don't know if I always will be, but at the very least, it's like an upgrade over a Jade Spear as a generic option. And I do have an attack timepiece, to be clear, for my Nefa. The reason it is awkward for Nefa for me is simply because I already have an essentially perfect Staff of Scarlet Sands build for her. Like, it's basically impossible to improve. But also, you know, if we simulate what my stats would look like with Jade Spear, we do this, and we do this, and then we, let's see, what do we do? I wonder if I'd want a little more ER, even. Maybe I want more ER. Maybe I'll do, Here, let's do, this, and then let's do like this at a baseline, like 92 200, and if I need extra ER, I could do that too. I could switch to this, sacrifice a tiny bit of crit for attack percent and ER if I feel the need to. Like, I have, and also let's not forget, I could get a better crit ratio than this, by the way, by keeping this circlet, and I might consider re-rolling this next patch and switching to an off-piece flower. So, wait, no, that's fine. So I keep this piece. What does it look like? 82 212. That's a little imbalanced. I'd probably want a higher crit rate piece, but I don't know exactly which one. I have a million different off-piece flowers. Maybe that. I don't know, right? You get the point. Like, I have compelling options for it. I wouldn't be that mad about getting it, but I definitely wouldn't like to escape from the weapon banner by just getting Varka's weapon and bouncing out. That's for sure. So Raiden Benefa team works. Yo. Should I go demonstrate it quick? Is it more convincing to demonstrate at Dire? Yeah, I'll just do Dire. Why not? But right now, so the balance, the way to min-max things, to be clear, it's actually not that much worse to put Raiden on the DPS set and Columbina on Serenade, I have found. Like, the improvement I got from putting Columbina on Albedo was relatively minor. But Columbina allows bursting, like having no energy on Anefa and Columbina. Well, Columbina I think wants a little bit of energy, maybe in Stygian, if you don't have an energy refunding weapon. So that, like, if you're trying to use Sacrificial Jade, for example, the Battle Pass weapon, you can burst every rotation with Sacrificial Jade feasibly with Raiden, refunding energy to Columbina. Columbina can be a buffer for the Benefic core that makes Raiden one of the better on-field options for it. You're pulling for Lohan? I mean, I'm pulling him only probably. I commit to nothing on my main account. If I think he's an interesting character, I'll pull for him on my main account. But anyways, so this is Skyward Spying with her on Serenade. And the reason I have her on Serenade is because I now have an Albedo Columbina build. And I have her on Sig with 100 ER. This is with an HP timepiece. That's why the crit is a little bit lower than you might expect for her Sig weapon. Or sorry, HP timepiece, HP circlet. Which is ideal, by the way. I ran the numbers, and if I had a really good crit damage circlet, it would be worse than this. So, that's actually good. Just because this gives so much freaking crit. But, and then Anefa is also on an incredibly good build. I want to be clear. As far as C0 Anefa, this is C0 Anefa, C0 Columbina. Let's go back to Staff of Scarlet Sands. Anefa is on an incredibly good build. So, not saying that this is relatable on the build investment level. But at a baseline, this is like near what the max potential is, I'd say, if I can play well. And when before I had Raiden before I had Columbina on Albedo, I had Columbina on Serenade with, where she didn't need the ER, right? So it wasn't as valuable. So Columbina was doing meaningfully less damage. But in exchange, I put 4-piece Night Sky. Because right now we only have one Gleaming Moon effect, so we're losing the Gleaming Moon full of value by not having Night Sky in the team at all. And then Raiden's also doing less damage. And Raiden's damage isn't very significant, but it's also not nothing. And it meant that the increase I actually got from Columbina was less than I expected when she was on Albedo. Because I ran the numbers on my Albedo build, and Columbina's doing like 30% plus more damage than when I had her on Serenade in this team. And it is net gain, but I'm pretty sure with Raiden C2, Raiden will be doing enough damage that it just makes sense to always use Night Sky on Raiden. I think that is what will happen. I'm not sure whether I still will want to put Serenade on the team or not. Like if Serenade will be more net gain than having Columbine on Albedo at that point. Because then I have Vivi, Albedo on Anefa, Night Sky on Raiden, whatever, and you get the point. So there's nuance to the builds here depending on your investment level. But let's do a quick one. Just to show you. Just because I have some viewers here that aren't normally watching my streams. But yeah, Raiden is one of the better drivers because she is functionally a buffer for the core. Yes, the point is using Raiden to drive damage value with the others. Is it necessary to use Raiden? No. The Benefic core is such that, you know, you can use other on-field characters other than Raiden, right? Don't get me wrong. But Raiden is one of the better ones. So, and I feel more personally compelled to pull C2 Raiden for this team core than I do for pulling Flynn's. Do I think C2 Raiden would be enough to get me to clear Knuckle Duckle at dire difficulty next patch? I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see how close that this team can get without Flynn's, right? And see what the we could see what the hypothetical increase would be. I imagine, I would hope that if I had gotten Flynn's, that this team would be invested enough into Columbina and Anefa that it would be able to beat Knuckle Duckle at dire, but I'm not even confident of that with how stupid that boss is next patch. But anyways, Raiden versus Fischl in this team. Fischl's a good option too. But Fischl doesn't buff, doesn't make it so you can burst every rotation with Anefa, and well, Anefa can probably burst every rotation with Fischl pretty easily because Fischl does a lot of electro particles. I don't think Columbina can as easily because she's solo hydro. Dink donk emote request. All right, remind me in a second. Okay, make sure we get staff stacks. We already had it maxed, so we didn't need to do that. Okay.
There is no escape.
Okay. Refresh this. And reverse.
Preparing for dust up. Insulation. Illusion shattered. Torn to oblivion. Stand clear.
I think I ran out of Staff Squirrel Sand Sticks. Not bad. It's a little tricky to play around. Do I have mass? It's hard to see. Yeah, I do. Okay. Still not used to playing this team enough, but that is the only tricky thing in this team right now for how I configured it is trying to be good with managing stats. It's not the only tricky thing. But I can definitely keep 100% uptime on Staff Squirrel Sand Stacks after I get them built up initially. I just have to be smart with timing some things. Okay. We're doing shield now. Yeah. Okay, lost max stacks again. What am I doing? This is definitely not going to beat my best time. Yeah, that's fine. Wow. TDDS and Zugros. You could. You should probably pass the TDDS buff to Anefa. Not to Raiden. Unless Raiden C2, maybe then it's worth it. But no, I have Even Star on Zugros. So, is Raiden more fun for you than Flynn's? I don't have Flynn's on this account. But in that team, I don't know. Like, I haven't tried to directly compare. The fun of that team is the fact that it gives me a reason to min-max the hell out of Columbina and Inefis build. And I think that's cool, right? And driving that potential by not needing to build any energy stats, but still burst on each of them every rotation is cool. So, yep. Anyways, and yeah, Flame's weapon would be interesting for riding with that team, so I wouldn't be actually that unhappy with getting it. It has at least 2 character use cases on my account, and therefore I am fine with getting it. So that's cool. The Mondstadt Chronicle banner, though. Dink donk. Alright, sure. Let me try to pull up an image for the Mondstadt Chronicle banner. What is there to discuss with that? Oh, also, low hand close-ups. Yeah, I don't see any vision on the boy, but someone said he's cry. I'll just believe that. Okay,
Human interactions, like where should I put my hands?
There we go. There's the Chronicle banners.
I just really want to make
Yuki.
friends with everyone.
Also, it really is so dumb that frickin' Elegy is doomed to Chronicle banner, by the way. Oh yeah, a brief mention of... Oh, what the fuck? God damn it, I fucking hate this website. Guess what website it is? I have to specifically select right-click, open image, and new tab. Pisses me off. Thank you, you shitty R website. Publicly traded... Wait, Reddit... it's Reddit. It's Reddit.
Take a stroll.
Reddit went public, right? I wonder why Reddit went to shit. Weird. Fucking weird. Reddit's public, right? I'm pretty sure Reddit went public. Wait, did they go public? Or are they preparing to go public? They've been rumored to be... If they haven't gone public, they've been rumored to be preparing to go public for a long fucking time. Anyways. There's other argument... Or the Reddit went to shit because it's also just a social media service, which that's just what they do. Old.reddit FT for the win. That's what I'm using, and it's still shitty. There's various reasons we don't need to get into it. Anyways, brief mention of this. Yeah, so Escofia's weapon is really fucking good. I would have vastly preferred a Escofia weapon with Varka weapon. To be clear, for Skirk players in particular, this is a much better weapon banner in general for them. Such that, like, if you still like playing Skirk, you know you like playing Skirk, you've already, like, learned her min-max combos, and you already have Skirk Escofia, obviously. Like, you should prioritize getting Escofia for Skirk over Skirk R1, to be clear. I feel like most people that want a Skirk R1 probably already got it. But I don't remember what her original banner was. It doesn't matter. It's in the past. Point is, if you don't have Skirk Sig, if you like Skirk, this is a kind of crack banner for her. Because, like, yup. I like Esco's design. I don't even want Skirk. That is a little bit worse of a banner. To be clear, Skirk's weapon is actually still a pretty good generic stat stick. There's just not that many sword DPSs in the game in general that are relevant to put a sword stat stick on is the main problem with it. So, yeah. Anyways, Escofia's weapon, though, I kind of wanted with Varka because I care about it. Let's be clear. I think it would be cool to have for Escofia as an option if I want it. But I don't really need my Skirk to perform any stronger. I'm not really worried about that. But having the ability to make Chevers stronger, having the ability to make Eon Song stronger, because both of these are Polearm characters that have very relevant, versatile team context for enabling different kinds of teams, and making the on-fielder that I pair with them even stronger in conjunction with it. Boy, that would be cool. I would like it. I would like... Oh yeah, it was Skirk and Shinha. That is, yeah. That was a poopy banner. So yeah. Anyways, if I wanted that, I would definitely have to be... It would be absolutely a mistake to wish on that banner on my account. Will I be able to resist doing a 10 pull? I don't know. We'll see. I probably will be able to resist. It depends what happens with BARKA banner, though. And depends if we hear anything about Nicole. So, yep. Yes, Shen had indeed had her rerun. So, anyways, that's slightly upsetting for me, but it's beneficial for other players. That's always the case, obviously, depending how they do different combos of things, because weapon matter's funky. That the combination of the characters matters, and it's annoying. Why don't they just separate other weapons? I don't know. It's lame, but Mona, Duluth, Jean, Klee, Albedo, Eula. Hey, Eula's rerunning once every 17,000 years. Same thing with Albedo and Klee. Crazy. It's a little sad that Duluth didn't get any buff, and Eula didn't get any buff. Mona and her cons are more relevant, that there are people that could actually consider pulling for copies of her. I wouldn't really recommend it, but, you know, she's less bad at minimum to lose to now. And it's also arguably less bad to lose to these characters, the standard banner characters in general. Considering it gets you closer to C60ing them, and that could get you closer to having level 100 material, therefore losing to these characters indirectly, even if not immediately, down the line, can turn into improving the power of your other characters. And that's cool. That's why it's actually kind of beneficial that the level 100, level 95 material exists. Gives value to something that had no value before, essentially, which is getting dupes of C6 standard banner characters, right? I don't think it was a negative thing for the game. But more importantly, Klee, as mentioned, Klee, you could actually make an argument that she would uplift the power level of certain people's accounts, particularly over time. If you can get C1 for free at minimum, you can, from the Constellation Selector thing, and it might be possible to get C2 for free in the future too. It's probably worth mentioning. C2 Klee, I think was good before. C1 Klee was made to be really, really good. Like, it straight up is just a pretty significant upgrade. If it resets in version 7.0, and you can also get C2 Klee for free. Oh, is it still defense percent? I thought it was more. Wait, what? Isn't this old? Wait, does it not show her enhanced kit in the archive? Does it not show the enhanced kit in the archive, guys? Because she had... Am I dumb? I thought I could have sworn this was different now, wasn't it? Let me double check. Maybe it's not. I forgot what this used to be, so I guess I could be wrong. But this is the same, isn't it? As it used to be? I don't know. Anyways, Def Shred is weird. And this is technically a team buff too, right? So like if you're playing, say, Durin, Fischl, Chevreuse, Klee's best team could easily be better than Varka's best team on your account. Factoring in that you can get C1 Klee and whatever for free. And also, I would say Klee probably has a better weapon available at a baseline for free in the form of, like, you know, Lost Prayers, whereas Varka has a more notable gain by pulling an additional 5-star weapon from him. So again, the story is like Varka probably takes additional investment to feel more compelling relative to other options, as part of the example of, like, Nicole may very well do more for other units than she does for Varka, but Nicole might have a kit that says if your character is Animo and also deals non-Animo damage at the same time. Well, actually all Animos can do that technically with Swirl, but she could have something in her kit that basically says if your name is Varka, do much more damage than if your name is not Varka. We don't know. What teams would you like to try with Varka? Oh boy. Oh boy. If you want my predictions for what I think the most fun teams for Varka are going to be, that I will enjoy playing the most, I think I'm going to enjoy shenanigans with Varka in general. But don't know what my preferred variant of this is going to be, but I think Shenhe Varka doing Cryo Varka is going to be fun. So putting Escoffier in place, or putting Layla or Rosaria or honestly Kaya in place. Anyone who can, like, provide some value. If I'm not using Layla, I would like to use Lania, I think, over Venti, but Venti would be an improvement on overall team damage, but then I want a shield probably. So, you know, this team with Varka, I think, could be pretty enjoyable. And then this, you might be like, surely Melt Varka's not going to work. They made him incentivized to be mono element. Surely it won't work. But But then as far as other shenanigans go, I'm sure I'll still enjoy him on a more generic level with doing other things. But as far as things that I think will not be as compelling, but that I also still want to try. Well, actually, no. Okay, so well, first one, sorry. I was going to mention something. Okay, I'll mention the shenanigans that I think is going to be kind of garbage first. Might be okay on my account, to be clear, because I have C2 Nahida.
Time to broaden the horizons again.
But I think shitty aggravate Varka will be kind of fun on my account.
The threads of your fate lie in my hands.
Like C2 Nahida will help. Eonson existing helps. And aggravate with Death Shred will uplift him enough that, you know, at least if I have enough investment, then with enough 5-star investment with the right supports, Varka goes from being pretty cope to do something like this to being like, oh, alright, cool, right? So, and then if I want to use Varka while throwing in, like, this means, yeah, I can turn him into a fucking aggravate DPS, and that's stupid, but I'll have enough investment on my account that I can have fun doing that, right? Like, the story of Varka is going to be that having the right conjunction of certain supports available into the future and currently will give you more options. And in this case, I don't think this will be that compelling without C2 Nahida. I think C2 Nahida probably matters a bit for this. But hey, I kind of regret getting C2 Nahida, so if I get more value from it, yeah. Like, I'm probably going to make a video being like, Varka, what do I want the title to be? Let's workshop it. Varka Lore Accurate Edition. And I can open with a clip from the live stream where they immediately start talking about Varka being strong, because the general community sentiment is probably going to be that Varka is not very strong at C0, right? So Varka Lore Accurate Edition, and then it'll just be me messing around with being like, yep, let's use a bunch of overpowered supports with, like, yep, the fact that I do have C2 Durin, yes, the fact that I do have C2 Nahida, to show you that some amount of additional investment, even doing like more unconventional things, enables Varka to suddenly feel like he's a lot more compelling and versatile. That's cool. And that's kind of the story of Varka. So Varka Lore Accurate Edition, I think, is what I'll do. I just typed in Karka. Barka. Lore Accurate Edition. So anyways, I think this will be fun, but like not very compelling at a generic level. What will be, I think, a little bit more compelling on a generic level. So we can add in an anima unit again. So again, fully fulfilling his passive for his maximized like baseline multiplier value. Requires 2 animo and then 2 of a shared pyro hydro electro cryo element. And we can do, you know, an anima unit in place of Nahida, and then do official whatever. So, by the way, Farozon is definitely an interesting option, so just leave her here as an example. Farozon is an interesting option, even though he's not like Lanyan, where the balance is Lanyan's doing majority anima damage, so Farozon's really good for her. He's doing less than majority anima damage, but he's still doing a lot of anima damage, and therefore Farozon could be really compelling. Farozon C6, to be clear. But again, I think a lot of people will end up wanting a shielder, so Lanyan in place might make more sense. But the last slot here, so buffing Varka, and then we have Official. Official, you know, she does good damage, but I think a somewhat interesting option. And this is the most I've actually been interested in using this character ever, because I kind of am not the biggest fan of her normally. But
I will lead us to victory.
C6 Sara, yes, is an electro buffer, but she does give an attack buff just generically. And C6 Sara does not say electro characters, it says electro damage of characters who have their attack increased. So what is Official's DPS? Enough that it's possible it could be better than buffing Varka more, right? Like this is choosing to buff Varka more rather than whatever. But particularly like what I would do in this team with Lanyan, is I would put Lanyan on Sealali's weapon. And I have a DPS build on Lanyan. So probably still on a VV most likely, to be clear, but I have a good DPS VV build. So I do, you know, Eonson into Sara because her buff is less uptime. Do an E and a Q if I have it available, ideally. On Lanyan, that'll do a bunch of damage, and then switch to Varka Ring. And the Sara buff probably isn't going to last that long. Actually, maybe you can reset the Sara buff, I believe, if you have burst and skill available, because skill and burst, I believe, applied the buff, if I recall. So that means I could technically refresh the duration by like doing an extra swap to Sara. Maybe that will make sense. I'm not sure. Anyways, Eonsun's pretty long uptime buff. You're a short uptime buff, so I'm not sure how Sara will work out. It might be that I just prefer official here. But in theory, with enough investment into having a good build on Varka and having C1, or sorry, not C1. I might go for C1 Varka, but at least having R1 Varka, where, you know, if you make Varka, the more damage that Varka is doing, so aka the more investment you have, whether it be constellations, weapons, or also how good your build is, the more relevant it is to put in another buffer instead of putting in Fischl as an off-field DPS, because Fischl isn't doing any buffing for Varka in this team, unless I put her on like elegy or whatever, right? Like obviously weapon. Hexarai bonus for Fischl does not do that much. And you might say, oh, you don't have any Hexarai in this team if I put in Sara. Yes, but I miss out on one skill or special charge attack. I don't think it's that big a deal. If I feel like needing Hexarai is relevant, I can put in Venti for more. Venti will be more damage in general anyways, technically, than Lonyan for Varka's damage. But again, that's part of the nuance of maybe Fischl will be better here, because Fischl does enable the Hexarai bonus, even though Fischl doesn't gain any value from Hexarai here. At least Varka will. So I'm not sure. It'll be an interesting comparison. So
Behold, the
I'll just leave that here as a preset. So yeah, I don't know. And I think this is interesting because there are different enemy contexts that incentivize different enemies, and the unfortunate thing is that your expectations for how Varka is going to perform in those different contexts for your account is going to be very different. You have to understand his kit to have proper expectations of when you're doing different things for your account, what they're going to perform like, right? Like, I'm not going to expect my Varka, I have C2 Durin especially, I am not going to expect my Varka to perform the same as an Electro DPS as he would when I'm playing Pyro DPS with C2 Durin, right? That's stupid. But if you don't understand that, and if you want your character, if you want your Varka to feel the same no matter how you're playing him, he's just not going to, right? He will feel different to play, like, for his performance in different team contexts. But the value you gain by him being able to do that, if you have the right supports for giving him different team options, means he might be able to be a really versatile main DPS when main DPSs usually aren't that versatile. For being able to clear different content when every fucking piece of content in the game pretty much has an enemy that's not always element based, but very often enemies have like from the beginning of Genshin have a specific incentivization towards using particular elements. And nowadays, the incentivization oftentimes is if you bring certain elements in the team, you can't use a character at all, or you can't use a certain team at all. Like, you have enemies that if you bring Hydro or Cryo, fuck you, this enemy, for example. You don't bring any Hydro or Cryo unless you specifically go out of your way to get it down to its down phase, and then you use Cryo. Like, people use Melt Moika against this, by the way, like, by not using Sealolly until you go to its down phase kind of thing. That's like a little bit of a bypassing mechanic. But you get the point, right? Sunfire Varka. Sunfire Varka will have some context that might be relevant for. So, because sometimes you need fast pyro application because of an enemy's mechanics, and therefore, like this enemy, for example, it's very, very possible that Jean Bennett combo ends up outperforming his spreadsheet optimal combos because you build its meter way faster than you do with Venti. So, anyways, on my account, I'm invested enough in a particular direction on my account where I've always tended to prioritize supports, including I've always preferred supportive constellations over DPS constellations. And what that will allow me to do for Varka is allow me to have a pretty high amount of versatility and make him worthwhile. And every time I'm going to use Varka, I'm going to be like, yep, I'm using Varka with insert support here that you may or may not have, so don't expect him to perform the same for you. And that's part of the inclination I have for, fuck it, I may as well get C1 Varka, maybe. Because my supports are, in some contexts, they're not, right? Like, if I play Cryo Varka, if I do Cryo Varka, Lonyan, Rosaria, I don't think that's going to be unrelatable. Other than having a Sig weapon or whatever. But, yeah, anyways, you get the point. So, Varka versus Chaska, who's looking better at the moment? In my opinion, Varka. But you could also argue they're fundamentally similar. as far as like total damage performance goes, and how their constellations make a meaningful difference to their overall strength that gives them more versatility to be used in different contexts. But Chaska, the problem I have with Chaska is she's not really that interesting. I mean, she can be interesting to think about, her team comps, but then her actual gameplay is always the same. It's just always the same. The most interesting thing you can do with Varka is that 4-piece VV is really kind of good on her as a DPS build in a way that's, I think, kind of funny and unintuitive. But yeah. Anyways, jealous of that Jade Cutter. It is a nice weapon for him. Quite like. I hadn't gotten much use out of it for a while, so I'm glad a character release that I got use out of it. But yeah. So, anyways, Chaska's probably better. Rainbow DPS is usually better. I mean, I don't agree. One problem, I have tried to use Chaska against enough Stygian bosses that, like, to be clear, I think for true Stygian value, I never was drawing any hard conclusions on this because I have not been willing to invest in my Chaska to truly make use of her in Stygian. Like, level 8 talent, I feel like if you really want to give characters a fair shot for Stygian, if I wanted to compare Chaska to my Kaniche, I should have crowned her and had her level 90. That would make enough of a difference together that, like, I'm not going to directly compare her to how I use Kaniche in Stygian. But, like, Kaniche felt very useful in Stygian to me, but is much more restrictive in a baseline than someone like Chaska. Be like, yeah, Chaska, in theory, she does multiple elements, and with different enemies incentivizing different elements, surely she has a lot of adaptability. But, like, honestly, I don't know. I found her very meh. Like, most of the time, it made her just in this awkward middle ground. Again, like, the fact that you can't control anything. Like, she's just doing random assortments of elements, but, like, enemies will have negative 80% resistance and extra resistance to other elements, like, very often, right? You'll have negative resistance to one element, and sometimes you'll have neutral resistance to other elements. Sometimes you'll have extra resistance to other elements. But, like, in the context of, okay, it has negative 100% pyro res, but plus 70% electro res. If you're playing electro and pyro together in a Chaska team, that means any fucking electro bullet she does way less damage, while her pyro bullets do more damage. But the intention for that mechanic is that when you're bringing pyro damage, you're able to have a much more damage from your pyro damage, and, like, it's incentivization to use pyro. But instead it just equalizes out for Chaska because she's doing random elements of damage. And it means that, like, she doesn't gain from the pyro res reduction compared to how an actual pyro DPS does. And Varka would gain meaningfully from a pyro res reduction, right? Not quite as much as, like, an Arlecchino or a Moika would necessarily, but he still would gain significantly from it in a way that Chaska wouldn't. And I don't know, it makes her, like, interesting in that she's, like, really equal in, like, her performance. Like, she should be pretty consistent in her performance. As long as, like, she has a team that can work for the enemy's mechanics, she should perform pretty well. But then also, it feels like there's never any levers I can pull that make her do more damage that often. So, and she just, yeah, it's effective, but not that effective. I don't know. So, I think ultimately, try to tag non-skilled Chaska. I think ultimately, Chaska's an appealing character to a particular type of player that wants relatively simplified gameplay and likes the visual aspect of a bunch of rainbow numbers pooping on screen. I didn't find her very engaging to play. I think she is one of the more interesting characters to think about how she works in practice. To, like, try to weigh what, because you can, like, weigh the statistics of what certain chances of different elements applying reactions are to, like, make her more of a vaporized DPS in theory kind of thing, right? You can make her more of a reaction driving DPS of actually getting big melts, getting big vaporizes from cryo melts or pyro melts, right? Not just pyro DPSing, right? She can be weird in that level, except, like, you can think about that and, like, try to map that out, what the chances of that, and, like, yeah, okay, 70% of the time she is getting a vaporize, 30% of the time she isn't. But then in practice her gameplay is just fucking boring. So I don't know, for me, and that's fine. It's fine. How good is VV Chaska? It's weird. I think it depends on the team a little bit still, especially nowadays. But The long and short is that Chaska being able to swirl and buffing all of her elements damage on top of buffing the off-fielder damage means that an invested build, like if it's an invested build versus an invested build, VV Chaska can beat out Obsidian Codex fairly consistently in practice in a lot of her team contexts, against a lot of enemies too. And it can have more of an advantage against certain enemies than other enemies depending on their resistances at a baseline. But it can introduce even more RNG to her gameplay as well, because it's hard to control necessarily what swirls you get. And also I think it is somewhat dependent on having at least a 5-star stat stick bow for her. If you don't have a 5-star stat stick bow, it's a lot harder to build crit substats because if you're using a free-to-play God Cry or whatever Natline craftable for Chaska, you don't, and you're putting her on VV, you just have her crit rate ascension and no other free crit, right? Whereas with this set, it's very easy to build her with non-crit weapons. So I do think having like a Skyward Harp, for example, would help bias towards VV because you get free crit at a baseline. That makes it a lot more realistic to build her. So Widzid the character a little bit, but like the funny thing is, I would prefer if she was more Widzid the character. Like my point with how she's she's boring to play is like, oh, she is RNG in theory, and that makes it actually interesting to see what the odds are of certain things happening. But then in practice, the way the RNG balances out, because she has so many instances of hits, is that there's rarely much optimization you can even do around that RNG that actually results in any improvement, right? Like, when I actually tried to use this task more seriously and push her limits, the experience I had is that even when I was like trying to optimize around RNG to get like more vapor, more reactions from different things or whatever else I was doing, it didn't result in a damage increase that resulted in a breakpoint difference because it was just like one additional vaporize kind of thing from a couple of her shots compared to not getting those vaporizes. But that additional damage never reached a breakpoint that mattered, right? With her C0 kit at least. Like it's RNG, but it's RNG that doesn't matter. So it's interesting to think about that RNG, but then the RNG doesn't matter in practice, and she just becomes nothing. It's just a bunch of visual on screen. And you build her full attack. You don't even build her around any element. Varka has reasons to build him with a Pyro Goblet sometimes. He has reasons to build him with a Cryo Goblet sometimes. He has reasons potentially to build him with an Animo Goblet sometimes. His C2 is kind of fucking weird in that his C2 makes him do way more Animo damage. Like, I think he does more Animo damage than his converted damage if you have his C2. So I think Farozon might be a best-in-slot teammate with C... Like, Farozon is already a really compelling teammate at C0, most likely. Like, if you have his C2, I think Farozon C6 might become best-in-slot, even if he's not... Because it just might make his Animo damage enough that it's just better. So it's just better to have Farozon versus... Like, you sacrifice a little bit of buffing for his non-Animo damage in exchange for having buffing for the bigger Animo damage that he gets at C2. I don't know. Anyways, I kind of think I won't want his C2 because of that. But we'll see. Anyways. And at the same time, you want 3 different Pyro, Hydro, Electro, Cryo units? Yeah. Yeah, Chaska's a weird variant of the idea, but I don't really like Chaska personally. But I'm glad she exists because there's certain players that it's appealing to have that gameplay for. But I don't think she's a particularly compelling character for endgame. And I think the things that make her compelling for endgame are... And I don't think, to be clear, I feel the same about Varka. I don't think you should pull Varka for uplifting the power level of your account for clearing endgame. So ultimately, again, the differences between these characters is it doesn't matter relative to whatever nuances you prefer for your personal preference for what makes you enjoy the game, right?
Leave it to me.
Die, please. All right. Search my account? No. Pity you already have in Chronicle Banner? I hope 0. Or close to it. I want Clifton Weapon better. Sick. Yeah. Oh yeah, because I was doing single pulse for Dia. Let's freaking go. Good. I'll be honest, I don't I don't particularly want to wish on a single additional Chronicle banner ever in the future. The one context in which I would consider it would have been maybe Albedo, but now it's going to be another fucking 2 years before Albedo comes back, so rip Albedo. Ito, no, but Ito's weapon? Okay. Ito's weapon is still a temptation, not gonna lie. For Noelle and other use cases that are fun. No. Like, and no, I don't think Flynn's or Zebai are gonna show up on a Chronicle banner anytime soon. I'm just saying hypothetically in the future. If there's characters here that are on Chronicle banner, would I pull for them? I don't think I'm quite happy. Like, my account for a while has been at a state where I pretty much, like, once Shenhe reran and I got Shenhe, my account reached a state where now I mostly don't care about reruns. Like, the character that was in the highest potential for, like, you know, they're kind of interesting was Venti. Venti was, and guess what, I got him. So I'm glad I got lucky getting him, because I'll be honest, he didn't feel super worthwhile. I still don't, even with, I think Venti is a compelling unit to have for opening up Varka team options, but at the same time I don't think he's necessary. I don't think he fundamentally fixes anything with Varka in a way that matters enough that you should feel that much need to have him, in my opinion. But guaranteed Skyward Blade from Chronicle, though? What do you mean guaranteed? It's 150 wishes for the fucking Skyward Blade, bro. Like, I don't know. Look, if we get really lucky with Varka, maybe a birthday gift to myself will be a Skyward Blade for Bennett. I would not mind like a what would my Bennett have? 310 ER about? Yeah. You have about 310 ER. I certainly would not mind a 310 ER, Benny. Skyward Blade, not that good. I think you highly undervalue 300 ER, Benny. Just saying. God, I would love a 300 ER, Benny. I absolutely, most of the time, am very down with trading some buff in exchange for, please. Sir. Trading a small amount of buff in exchange for, I never had to think about this boy's energy. Or if I do have to think about this boy's energy, there's nothing I can do about it at that point. Like, the theoretical true max I could push his ER to with any feasible investment is like 340 to 350. Like, if I really wanted to. But I'd have to counter like a team I really, really like that I'm really, really annoyed about Bennett's ER needs to have that be the case. And I'm just Skyward Blade alone would solve any issues. But I have had issues with Bennett in whatever random ass circumstances. But this ER doesn't feel like enough. So Skirk's on my mind now. Do you think she'll be a good and versatile character in brute forcing Stygian? I don't know. Like, she's still good for brute forcing at Fearless in this Stygian. But not incredible, I would say. And
Off we go.
Next Stygian is Knuckle Duckle. I don't think she brute forces Knuckle Duckle. I could be wrong. I'm talking like C0 having premium team investment, right?
Adventure time.
I don't think she brute forces Knuckle Duckle. I think it's literally impossible to brute force the Mandaregas with her. Because it requires Pyro or Electro. Well, okay, maybe Sunfire Skirk. But no, probably not. Because grouping. Well, maybe Jean can fall damage them. Maybe. I don't know. It'd be funny if Sunfire Skirk works against the Mandaregas. Chas could get anything from Benefa Lunar reactions? I mean, yeah. You can put her on VV, and Chaska can do really good damage on VV, while increasing the other unit's damage, who is also doing a lot of damage. Like, the story of Chaska is, how good are your off-fielders, yo? Your off-field damage dealers. For C0 Chaska. Varka is a little bit more nuanced, and it's how good are your options for off-field for both support, for more of a nuanced conjunction of support, because Varka's personal damage contribution is more relevant, I think, than Chaska's. But it depends. It just really depends. I think Chaska's more relevant to just throw her with different off-fielders doing damage. Varka's a little bit more relevant to put him with units that are buffing him more. But it's still kind of 6 of one, half a dozen either. So, anyways, what's the other boss? Oh, the other boss next patch is the Cryo boss. Duh. It's the shill boss. Yeah, I think Skirk will be fine against her shill boss. We've already experienced that. So, you know, like, as far as the non-Skirk shill bosses, next patch, I don't think she's that compelling against the non-shill bosses. The patch after that, who knows? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I am not gonna draw a hard line of like, yep, it makes sense to continue pulling or continue investing into Skirk to keep her being more adaptable. But like, yeah, she was one of the better options for dealing with this. She was also one of the better options for dealing with this. I don't think she was really used for this. Yeah, she was one of the better options. I'm not evaluating Dire, to be clear, but she, to varying degrees, could be used at Dire too. She's one of the better options for this. Was she good with this? Did people do Skirk things with Hera at Fearless at minimum? I don't remember. Well, I guess people probably did, considering I did, I guess, with Dire difficulty. If I did with Dire, then surely people were at Fearless. So yes, she was good for multiple bosses there. She was good for multiple bosses here. She was good for multiple bosses here. Well, mostly just this one. Not as much the other ones. Because this one really needed an Outland things going on, but... And then this thing really wanted electrocharge, so not quite as much this one. So I don't know, there's been consistently like at least one boss she's good at. This one has been the least friendly to Skirk in a while. Like, Skirk teams work against the crab, but I would say if you had the option to do a Hydra DPS that gets buffed by Escoffier, like Escoffier was more relevant for the crab for enabling Hydra DPSs to do more damage, because you could have full Escoffier teams that still get vaporizes, right? And then I think using Skirk was on this. But for some people's accounts, Skirk might have been the most compelling option. Because you can adapt her to bursting down and just front-loading a bunch of damage on this thing as fast as possible. And then Skirk can also be used for brute forcing this, particularly if Fearless. Can my Skirk brute force a Dire? I haven't tried. She probably can, at least if I use Seat Lolly. Will Ayaka be fine? For the Cryo Automaton, yeah. To be clear, Ayaka with Cryo Automaton probably needs Ayaka Premium. Like Escoffier, probably Shenhe. I think so. I think people did do clears the Ayaka with Escoffier without Shenhe. I think. I could be wrong on that. But anyways. Okay. So Farka. Speaking of Farka being like just honestly fine still. I don't think you should pull Varka to deal with the Cryo boss, per se. Because I think, again, having a signature weapon will be a significant difference maker. But as far as, like, what number of 5 stars are required to clear the boss, I think Varka will do a better job of clearing the Cryo boss than Ayaka. That is my prediction, okay? But they're in a similar situation, though, where, like, for Shenhe, for Ayaka, you'd really want, like, Shenhe, Farina, and what's their bucket? Escoffier. For Varka, I'd say Escoffier is very replaceable, very not needed. Shenhe might be not that needed either, but, like, she's one of the few options that can actually buff Varka meaningfully, so I think Shenhe is very wanted and might be needed for Varka to deal with the Cryo boss. And then having Varka's Sig weapon might be very wanted. So like, okay, don't need a Scofier, but do want Sig weapon kind of thing, or C1. And I think the Animo slot is flexible too, but I could be wrong. Maybe you will need Venti. So if you end up needing Venti and Shenhe and Sig weapon on Varka, and then you have a flex slot for a 4-star teammate like Layla, well, then maybe it's basically the same as Ayaka. But at the same time, you know, the fact that, you know, Varka, this weird unit that's, oh, you should only play, if you're listening to the Zijefs of the world, you should only play him as a Pyro DPS. It's not worth considering playing mouse-wise. The fact that Varka, in my mind, for like investment level requirement, would be very similar to Ayaka. For what it would take to get Ayaka to clear the Cryo Boss at Fearless is about similar to the investment it would take to get Varka to clear the Cryo Boss. Right? And he's a weird modal DPS that can be adapted in that way. And that's what I mean, like the story of Varka is like the supports you have and whatever. So, I don't know. I really wish he was balanced in a way where I could say, yeah, you don't need his signature weapon for him to be compelling for the Cryo Boss. But he is balanced in a way where I feel like you will want to do some amount of additional investment, or will struggle to use him against the Cryo Boss if you don't have key supports. Like, he is not overpowered against the Cryo Boss. I think that ultimately is part of his story too. I think they were scared, and this is why he might be weak even after they release more powerful supports, right? I don't think they want to risk releasing a main DPS unit that can be adapted to different elements because of the fact that it bypasses their enemy design. That is how they shill for current banner units. If they made too strong of a modal DPS, it would give a lot of people, it would give the Zijefs of the world an excuse to be like, why pull for insert new cryo DPS here when you can just Varka instead? If Varka was too good, right? Right? Does that make sense? Like, I think that's part of his balance. Is he's balanced around being a weaker DPS modal because of his modal utility in exchange. But in exchange, yeah, I don't know. I just think that's how you balance it. And like, I think it's reasonable on a game design level that they did that, but it still feels bad. It still feels bad that you have to invest more in him to feel like you can truly push him in endgame, I would say. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's up to you whether that's a problem or not. For me, it's not that big an issue. But it will be a problem for other people. Only pull Varka if you like him. Oh yeah, we didn't even finish talking about the whatever. So, character banner, I don't know. Albedo's better now. Still probably not someone you'd particularly need to pull unless you really like him. Eula, yeah. Only pull her if you really like her. And Klee is pretty good now. Still probably should only pull her if you really like her. And she'll be less good if you don't have like C6 Shivers. Whatever. I think her best team is C6 Shivers, Doer, and Fischl, if I recall. Could be wrong. I'm sure Eonson or Bennett, Doer, and Fischl work fine too. Mona is way more relevant too, yes. But you probably shouldn't pull for Mona Cons, but she'd be fine to lose to. So the character banner, I think, is fine if you want one of these characters. Weapon banner. Harper's good. Atlas is meh. It's fine on some characters. The problem with Atlas is there's a lot of compelling catalysts. Lost Prayers is better. It's decent. Not as good as Skyward Harper, I would say, but it's a decent weapon to have. Again, it's the problem with Lost Prayers is just there's other compelling catalysts that likely exist that you may or may not have that make it worse. It can be relatively better, relatively worse, depending on what you have. Skyward Spine, I think, is actually a little bit of an undervalued weapon. Giving some crit, giving ER, having 674 base attack makes it a good weapon.
Knowing my luck, the opposite is probably true for me.
But this is not saying you should pull for it. These are obviously all the standard banner weapons, anyways. These are the you'll lose to them. How cope is it that you lose to these weapons? This is like the most fucking standard banner heavy chronicle weapon banner we've had. I feel like, which makes it kind of ass. Like, they're all... This is just standard banner, weapon banner, the weapon banner. Like, what is this? What the fuck is this? It's all standard banner weapons and weapons that should be standard banner at this point. Like, quite frankly, Elegy should be standard banner, in my opinion. It might be a hot take, but fuck you, Hoyo. You made you gave Venti a new weapon because you're like, oh look, you can DPS him now. You can DPS him now. He's not a cope DPS, guys. That's cool. I like that they added that playstyle for him. But then making it that Elegy is no longer acquirable when he runs, and you have to wish on this fucking Chronicle banner to get Elegy. To be clear, I think Elegy is an overvalued weapon by some people. Most of the times that you can use Elegy, I think Fav is actually just oftentimes better still. Because energy for other characters in the team is too good. Case in point, this is a team, or this is a team. So DPS Lanyan. Lanyan has EM scaling damage directly. Like she has her passive. This means her damage is her attack scaling damage and EM scaling. This means EM buffs and EM. I use an EM type piece on her in this team. Like EM does good for her. It increases her damage. So she double dips in the value of Elegy. And like Farazan, very compelling Elegy holder. And you're using double Animo. Surely I can just compellingly use Elegy on Farazan and have a good time. I have found the vast majority of the time against most enemy contexts, Fav ends up outcompeting Elegy. Or not necessarily outcompeting, but like in the worst case it matches. And like I have to be really fucking like it's just not better. It allows me to see bigger numbers on screen, but it never matters relative to the flexibility that I gain from having extra energy that I can funnel to Lanyan on demand or funnel to Farazan, and it helps a lot in Abyss. Like when you end a chamber with 50% energy, it's really nice to have Fab. It's really nice to have Fab for Durin to get his energy up sometimes. And then let alone if we dare start talking about Stygian. Obviously Fab is good in Stygian. So Fab game mode out the wazoo. Like, Elegy's kind of a shit weapon, quite frankly, I actually think. Like, I intentionally pulled Elegy because I liked having options for supportive weapons. I have not found it very useful. Of the supportive weapons that I pulled for faster weapons, it has been one of the less useful ones. Elegy with Yehoda, I have. It's fine. It can be used. I think Yehoda is one of the more compelling use cases, I suppose. I think Yelan is one of the more compelling use cases. You might say Venti, but honestly, I would not be surprised if you have Elegy for Venti, even with Varka, you may likely end up finding you need to use Fav and Stygian anyways. So, yeah. Anyways, although to be clear, Venti has annoying problems with Fab because of how long it takes his skill to hit. So if you're like waiting for the Fab particles to proc, it's kind of annoying. So that biases Venti a little bit towards Elegy. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when I get Varka if I actually prefer Elegy on Venti or if I prefer Fab on him. I think it just depends though. It's not a clear-cut answer, and the fact that it's not clear-cut makes it a relatively low-value weapon to go for on a weapon banner like this, where it's, you know, it's a 50-50 that you even get it at pity, and it's higher pity. Like, there's a lower chance to get a 5-star weapon on Chronicle banner, remember, than there is when you wish on normal weapon banner. And then having it be filled with a bunch of meh weapons that are like not bad to get a single copies of potentially, but not great. I don't know. There's no like singular obviously compelling weapon to lose to compared to previous. This is by far the worst weapon Chronicle banner we've had, in my opinion. There's literally only 2 limited weapons on here. The cases that make sense to use those 2 limited weapons are not very significant. So Eula's weapon I think is basically only Eula or meme builds, which is fun, I guess. Like it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world or whatever, but Wolf's Gravestone is meh. Skyward Blade is, I think, Bennett's signature weapon that most people should be using on him if you have it available over Aquila, except for the teams where like you're playing Mawika or Alakino, like teams that have a bunch of like pyro particles that are really easy to always funnel. Like Bennett's ER needs are vastly lower. Skyward Blade is really nice for Bennett. I think it's the secret go of this banner. Aquila's also nice for Bennett though. Skyward Pride is something. Skyward Spine is good. Lost Prayers is good. Skyward, Skyward Atlas. And then Skyward Heart is good. Like, I don't know. But this is just like the story of standard banner weapons. And you can get these from standard banner. And you can get these from wishing on normal weapon banner. I would say on average, you should not pull in this banner. I don't know what kind of player it makes sense to pull in this banner. It's kind of ass. It's just kind of ass. They didn't even put Jade Cutter on it, bruh. Like, what the fuck, actually? Like, actually, can we ask that question? Like, why? In the past, they've run Jade Cutter like with fucking like I got Jade Cutter when they ran Albedo with Nilou. they ran Jade Cutter with Albedo in the past. Ain't that a Leeway weapon? That's a dumbass fucking God. I fucking hate Chronicle Wish if that's the logic. Also, the first fucking the first Chronicle banner was a Mondstadt banner that had the Sumeru weapons on it. Like but it's a Leeway weapon. Lore needs to dictate the Chronicle banner. Meanwhile, they literally reran this weapon. They literally reran this weapon and Tighnari's weapon on the first Mondstadt Chronicle banner. So, no, I disagree with that argument. The literal first Chronicle banner did it differently anyways. Please, sir. Please. Please. Got him. Anyways. Yeah, no, I think this is the worst Chronicle banner. At least the character banner is fine if you want the characters, and that's fine. But yeah, no, I don't know. I maintain, by the way, that like Chronicle banner is ass because like Chronicle banner is them acknowledging that characters are lower value characters, so let's throw them on Chronicle banner. But Chronicle banner doesn't run consistently. Chronicle banner, so you can't plan around it very well, right? But then more importantly, even than that, I would say, Chronicle banner is lower value. You are less likely, you get less value out of your wishes, not only because of the fact that 5 stars are lower power on Chronicle banner, right? Because it costs the same amount of wishes at a baseline, like the same pity system, same 0.6% base rate, fundamentally. Doing things. Sorry. Same 5-star base rate. Last Chronicle had D and Tighnari, yeah. But that wasn't my point. So, anyways, I said the original Chronicle banner. They really should have made a triple banner? Yes, they should have. Sorry, so the base rate for characters is the same. It's 0.6%. Insane pity, right? When you get to 74, soft pity, whatever, goes up a little bit each time you wish, right? So that's all the same. I was like, okay, cool. So you plan the normal 150 wishes to acquire a character. What's the problem there? Well, I think the problem is, one, if they're throwing the characters on Chronicle banner, acknowledging that characters are lower value, and that's why they're on there, then they should lower the cost. Like, I think the simple answer is, why not make, whenever they run Chronicle banner, the first 5-star you get on Chronicle banner is guaranteed. It's not a 50-50, whether it be weapon or character. That would make a Chronicle banner way more worth wishing on for a lot of players, right? And it'd be much more tempting too for people to just gambit and throw some wishes on. Like, I also think it would potentially make them money if they did that too, because you'd have people that would, like, let's say there's a Chronicle banner running right now, and you won your 50, you saved 150 pulls for Zibai, and you spent 75, you got Zibai by winning a 50-50. Cool, nice. But then that Chronicle banner sitting there, and you were tempted to get Albedo. That Chronicle banner sitting right there, and you can get Albedo, and you don't have any of the other good Geo 5-star options for Zibai, and you only got an Nilou C0. That Albedo is super tempting, isn't it? And I'm not saying it actually makes that much sense to you, but you understand, like, that nag would be in your head of you won your 50-50, and if the Chronicle banner is a guarantee to get the Albedo by going to pity, bam. They could also just change the pity amount too. Like the new rerun banner in Zenless, yeah. But it has to be consistent. And if Chronicle banner was always like the first 5-star was guaranteed, sure. Good structure that functionally means, yep, you are acknowledging the character's lower power. They rerun more rarely because of that, which is what Chronicle banner is. It's a rare rerun for lower power characters. And you, in exchange for that, you are giving people the ability to acquire them for cheaper. Functionally, it's not cheaper, though. The worst part is, though, they're actually functionally more expensive, because we don't need to explain the full-ass Capture and Radiance system, but the functional chance over time of actually acquiring characters if you only wish Unlimited Banner does end up trending towards the number they have here, which is approximately 55%. This 55%, the hell is it? There it is. Yeah, the consolidated probability factoring the Capture and Radiance is 55%. Functionally, over time, if you do 10,000, if you run a simulation of doing 10,000 wishes because of the Capture and Radiance system, you will get the featured limited 5-star 55% of the time, rather than 50%, right? When you're not on a normal guarantee, obviously. Whereas Chronicle Banner, it will be 50%, right? You will get more of the featured 5-stars. That means that, like, it is functionally cheaper technically. It's not in a way that you feel it, to be clear. You don't feel this. It's just things that rises in statistics. And it's a thing you can plan around too if you track your wishes properly for Radiance, but we don't need to talk about it. Radiance is better when you plan around it and you can track your 50-50 losses properly. But there's no such Radiance system for Chronicle Banner. It's just normal 50-50 situation. So the introduction of Radiance functionally made it, though, cheaper to acquire newer characters, or not newer characters, limited banner, normal limited banner characters, than it did to acquire Chronicle Banner characters. So that means Chronicle Banner characters are not only are they not cheaper when they should be cheaper, in my opinion, they are fucking functionally more expensive, because you are not progressing towards any Capture and Radiance trigger, is why. And, like, that's ass. Because progressing your Capture and Radiance, if you lose a 50-50 on this banner, knowing that you can save a guarantee, also that's a factor too, you can't save a guarantee, but knowing that you can save a guarantee for a future banner is much more powerful. It means it's much less risky to, like, if you only have 75 pulls and you don't know that you're going to win at 50-50 for one of these two characters, it's much less risky to put it on this banner than it is Chronicle Banner, because you know you can save that guarantee for the literal next patch. Even if there was a guarantee you could save for Chronicle Banner, that could be saved, and there isn't, but if there was, you still don't know when the fuck Chronicle Banner's coming back, so even if there was, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just ass. It's just ass. It's functionally more expensive to acquire characters and more risky to wish on, even though the characters are lower value. Why are they charging? Like, this is literally like, the allegory I would have, it's like if Apple still had reasons, like, oh, people still, let's go to fucking eBay. Now let's type in iPhone 4. Wow, it's like that's not the iPhone 4. What the fuck is wrong with your search? Oh, it's because it's all promoted bullshit, isn't it? Can I find new inbox? I should have typed in new inbox. I imagine new. That was my intent. But it's like iPhone 4 new. I have my caps lock on. Yeah, there we go. iPhone 4 new sealed. 8GB iPhone 4. Like, this is a collector phone, obviously, right? $450. It's like if an Apple exec was like, we see that we can make money off of people that are buying iPhone 4s. Let's sell iPhone 4s again, on a phone that's, over 10 years old, right? Let's sell iPhone 4s again to these people that will buy iPhone 4s. This is equivalent to buying an older character in Genshin. They're selling the same product that is older, but they're selling it now today. But they're like, how about we charge the same amount a brand new iPhone costs? And brand new iPhones cost $1,000, by the way. But we'll be nice and we'll give, but Apple would be like, oh, well, we'll give you a special stamp. This is the special edition iPhone 4. It has a newer CPU, but looks like an iPhone 4. That's what Apple would actually do. They don't even do that in Genshin. They don't give you anything additional for pulling an older unit in modern day. You get fuck all, other than you can cope that they might buff the character, I guess. That's the only fuck all you get. So like that's the shit that's going on, in my opinion, most of the time with these Chronicle banners, is they are selling lower value older things, products that have aged. And it's like fine that they age to some degree. Like, to some degree, power creep is inevitable. I'm not saying it's necessary, but to some degree, gacha game structures, because the characters of the product means we're going to have progressively stronger things over time. It's hard to avoid it on a balance level. I understand a core of why it happens. I think Genshin has done, they're not amazing lately, but I think they've done a surprisingly good job holistically. How many older characters are still very usable if you put your mind to it? Right? I think Genshin's a surprisingly good game on a design level for like allowing you to still use the characters you just want to play if you want to play them in whatever form of content. And like Nintendo releasing an old game, I mean, yeah, but that's, I wanted to make a more extreme stupid scenario, right? Of something that doesn't make sense at all. Like, people would be extremely confused why the fuck Apple would release the same iPhone 4 in 2026 for $1,000, right? No one would actually buy that. And no one actually buys the Chronicle banner. Not very many. A very, very small amount of people. Just like a very, very small amount of people would buy the $1,000 iPhone 4 that released in 2026. But like, it just feels like something they do to extract a very small amount of money from the very small number of players that exist that still want EULA kind of thing, right? Like, why, bruh? Like, why? Just fucking let the people that want EULA in 2026 get EULA for 70 wishes cheaper or something. They still have to spend wishes for it. You can make them still have to spend wishes, which means they're still potentially sacrificing newer characters. It's still costing them something. But it's like, no, we can't stomach that. We have to fucking extract as much money as possible. That's my problem with it. It's so fucking shit. Like, I don't know. Sorry, I hate Chronicle Banner at this point. I only like it. I honestly only like Chronicle Banner for the niche situation of I appreciate it existing for if you happen to be a main of a standard banner 5-star character. You can purposely try to do that. You can purposely do something like I did where you could be a very big enthusiast of Dia and you can wait for the Sumeru Chronicle banner and wish for copies of Dia. I appreciate it for that. That's the only thing I really appreciate it for. Is it being dedicated banners for standard banner units. If you happen to be a main of them. Also, a minor benefit of the Mondstadt Chronicle banner specifically is the 4 stars in the banner are only 4-star Mondstadt characters. And Official's good, Sucrose, well, you don't need that many extra copies of Sucrose. Official is relevant, but more importantly, Kaya, Amber, Lisa constellations are relevant if you want to play them too. So this is like, it's like, I don't know, the problem is you can't guarantee getting them, right? But if there was a Mondstadt 5-star you wanted anyways, a side benefit might be like a much higher chance of actually like getting that Amber con when you're wishing or whatever, right? I believe I got a Lisa constellation when I wished on one of the Mondstadt Chronicle banners originally, the first one. So Chronicle Wish is pretty much only for people who are simping a specific character, yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I maybe they make more money than I expect, but like I've seen some of the stats at least on. Like it's not that the stats I've seen explain how much money they make in total from it, right? But you can look at the stats of how, like in any given patch, how many people wish on the Chronicle banner versus wish on the other banners, and like it's vastly lower every single time. It's vastly lower amounts of wishes are spent on the Chronicle banner, and it means it's just like, okay. If it's vastly lower total wishes, that means the majority of the money they're making is not on Chronicle banner. Why do they feel the need to extract so much money from Chronicle banner? Just fucking be a little nicer. Like, why is it more expensive? Why are weapons more expensive to get on Chronicle banner? Why? Simping is a strong word. I mean, simping has a negative connotation, sure. What they meant is just like you're really like I'm not fucking masturbating to Dia. I'm sorry. I like playing Dia. That's the reason I fucking pulled for her. I was dedicated to getting the most out of her combat utility. So no, I wasn't simping for Dia in the genericized definition of the term. But I was simping for Dia in the sense that I'm just dedicated to Dia. That's why they're using the term. Anyways. Never forgive them for what they did with Shenhe and Chronicle Wish. Only give her a regular banner again later. Yeah, I wish to reiterate, they fucking knew what they were doing, by the way. They 100% knew they were designing Skirk and that Skirk would have Shenhe as a relevant teammate. they 100% knew when they chose to rerun Shenhe and Chronicle Banner that they were going to turn around and run Shenhe later. They might not have had like 100% decided that they were going to run Shenhe on a dedicated banner later, but they definitely had it in the consideration. They definitely had Skirk already being designed. They definitely knew that they were going to consider doing that. Like, it might not have been actively malicious, but it also may very well have been actively malicious to rerun Shenhe on the lower value banner. And then immediately turn around, and when they release the most relevant new units, both Escoffier in particular and Skirk, then they turn around and run around a dedicated banner conveniently. That was extremely insulting too, yeah. And I assume they'll do that again. Like, if they happen to, if the Lunar Crystallized unit releases and for some reason Albedo is his best in slot teammate for the Lunar Crystallized off-field unit they release. I don't know how that would be, but because Albedo is also off-field himself, right? But if they happen to release some unit that for some reason Albedo is best in slot, mark my words, Albedo will get a dedicated banner. He'll probably get a new weapon too. You were though? No, I wasn't. Like, if you think I was, you don't actually know me. Quite frankly. You think you know me, and I appreciate you watching my content, but you don't fucking know me. Any joking I do, like Barka for Varka, I'm sorry, I'm not actually sexually attracted. Sorry to break the facade for everyone. I'm not actually attracted to Varka. Saying Barka for Varka is me feeling silly. I, in fact, actually barely fucking understand people's obsession with sex in general. I rarely feel sexual attractions to humans in general. I don't think I feel none. But, like, for me, sexual comments in general, simping, whatever, is mostly just a joke. Because it's just how people talk about things, and I'm not dumb. I know how people use words. So, Nicole can conquer me. That's a joke. I am not sexually attracted to Nicole, sorry. I really like Nicole. I enjoy any time she comes on screen. But it is funny to do those jokes. I don't know. I do enjoy it. I get more value out of making funny vulgar humor than I actually mean anything. So yes, Barka ver Varka is a joke. Just like my Zenlist stream where I said where the concept of the stream was I was pulling for Hugo and Lighter. And I was like, men in my Gunnar game. I could do that again for Genshin. Do a Varka polling video. Pulling for Varka? But how? Why? What? I'm pulling for a male character in Genshin? By the way, the Varka is an example of this is all they needed to do. No, again, I'm not 100% happy. I would have really preferred a bit of a different version if I was going to make Varka, but I understand some of the reasons they made him the way he is. Particularly factoring in Nicole's potential release thing. So I'm not 100% happy with it. But still, the main problem I've had with the reason I tend to like the woman more in Genshin is largely, I'm not gonna lie that I probably have a bias towards like liking the aesthetics appeals of the ladies rather than the men, but I don't know, all they actually need to do to get me to use boys is make them characters I think are fun. It's the same, the reason I play the lady characters is because they make the lady characters fun to play to me. So anyways, I got plenty of Genshin boys I have liked, but also more on average, I think most of the Genshin boys they've released have not had very fun kits to me, or they were fun temporarily, like Nubilette. I really liked for a while, and then I stopped liking. So, anyways, yeah. Sorry, not gay. Don't even know if I'm straight. I believe, in theory, I'm probably on the asexual spectrum, but I don't feel like I experience zero sexual attraction, to be clear. It's just not a strong, like I've seen many people describe, you know, sex as a need type thing for them for their life. I would never even dare get close to describe it as a need for me. It's, if anything, sexual attraction I consider an annoyance in my life, not a need. So, pansexual. I don't think I'm pansexual. I think I am more likely on the asexual spectrum, aka don't feel much sexual extraction. Don't feel much sexual extraction, but I do feel some. So no, I was not simping for Dia, frankly, in anything other than I think it's funny. So, yeah. Asexual. No, not with a space. Only thing needed in life is kittens and puppies. True. Where's the cat? Also, what time is it? It is 8:59. I should end this stream. Right, Kiwi posted a video. This is not a filler patch. I mean, Kiwi, I don't disagree that the quest will be good, but I think it's a little bit of a filler patch. And again, I think filler patches are good. I think filler patches are good. I don't see a cat nearby. I'm gonna go hunt down a cat. End it with cat cam? Yeah, I think we'll end with cat cam. What is asexual? Well, look it up yourself. I don't have to explaining. I don't even know what it is. I don't openly identify as asexual because I don't strongly feel like that is what I am. All I can tell you is I have read. Oh, hello, cat. I have read plenty of information on like simple things of like, hey, people online, describe what being attracted to someone is like. And like this was the most illuminating thing for me, was when like someone describes their attraction to someone, they're like describing things that I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I have literally never once in my, and this is like as an adult, I've never once in my life felt anything even close to that. Like the types of things when you read someone say, yeah, this is my experience, and you're like, this seems like you're an alien creature, fuck ass type thing. Like, you know, people describing what attraction is like to them and it being like an entirely foreign description. It's simultaneously fascinating, to be clear, that people experience reality that differently than me. But also, do I go to the gym? No. Maybe I should. It wouldn't hurt to build some muscle mass. But anyways, we'll go find DD, don't worry. We're not gonna let him escape. Well, actually, I might not be able to if he lays down. Uh-oh. Never mind, guys, I'm not gonna go find DD. I'm no longer allowed to leave. Yeah, let me turn on the flash. I'm not allowed to leave anymore. I'm stuck here for hours. Well. Never mind. Bro's silky. Yeah, I don't know why he was so shiny. Well, the shade was shiny because of the light on him. DD usually sits on the keyboard. DD likes to sit right here. Right here. Osher sometimes does too. Hearing someone describe being in love just sounds so alien. Like what? Yeah. But anyways, people experience attraction in different ways is what I learned. And I do think, you know, I glom on to certain kinds of people in different ways. Like I think I experience it, but in a different way than other people experience it, right?
That's no exaggeration.
And most people would probably say that it probably makes me fall somewhere on the asexual spectrum, which doesn't necessarily mean I experience no sexual extraction. But yeah. Anyways, which of the cats always attacks the keyboard more? Well, Dee is the most likely to flop down here and then lay like long ways along this. So the reason like messages happen from Dee is because he'll lay this is why these two keys, like if DD types a message, it's a bunch of minuses and slashes. Because that's what or pluses and slashes and whatever. Because he plops right down on the numpad right here. Hello. And then he'll sometimes hit enter. So he has sent messages himself. Whereas Oshru, I think, one, he just doesn't lay here as much in general. Oshru is more likely to jump in my lap. And, yeah, don't worry, you're normal. I mean, different ways of experiencing reality is normal. I agree. I'm not really worried. I'm an adult, yo. I'm not, like, actively thinking about what I am anymore.
Doing whatever I feel like, I suppose. Same with tomorrow and the day after that.
I appreciate the sentiment, but like it's fine. So anyways, the point is, yeah, I play gacha games despite not being sexually attracted to the characters. Fucking crazy. But like, to be clear, the thing that's hard to like, explain to people that like, if I say like, oh yeah, I'm not attracted to them sexually, but I can still like say a character is attractive. I can still say a person in real life is attractive without being attracted to them. That's apparently a foreign concept I've heard to some people. Like there's some people that like can't grapple. Why is the window like that? Don't worry about it. I've heard some people can't grapple with the idea that you can be like, yeah, that person is attractive, but not be attracted to them. Right? So I don't know. I've heard that, and like, but I've like almost always experienced that. I basically only like and be like, yeah, it's an aesthetically pleasing. It's an aesthetically pleasing person, right? Dia is an aesthetically pleasing person. Lanyon's an aesthetically pleasing person. Who else is aesthetically pleasing? See, Lolly, Raiden, Yai, Nefer. They're all aesthetically pleasing ladies. Varka's an aesthetically pleasing boy. You know, you're not. You very are. You very are. If there's anyone that is like, I'm attracted and more than aesthetically pleasing. No, I'm joking. See, this is a joke. This is my joke, okay? That's how you make the jokes. Where I hammer down so hard on like, yeah, these are aesthetically pleasing things to me, and then I make the joke that it actually, I'm not actually attracted to, like, you know. Anyways, but see, that's the joke. That's the joke. Anyways, aesthetic attraction does not equal sexual attraction, yeah, but sometimes it does for most people, for some people. So yeah. Anyways, let me go find Orange Creature, and then we'll end the stream. Boop-a-doo. Yes, Nicole. Nicole is almost perfect design-wise. And it's just the split hair in the back, but it's fine. She wins over in every other way. Anyways, it's not funny now that you explained it. Yeah, my bad.
Oh, my plan for the day? Doing whatever I feel like, I suppose. Same with tomorrow, and the day after that. Swallows nest when skies are fair, but hide when storms are in the air.
There you go. Why does Dee Dee look so concerned? I don't know. That foam did concern him. Concern? Why can't I speak anymore? I need to sleep. Although I'm probably not gonna go to sleep. I'll probably like rest for a little bit, and then try to finish a video that I'm hoping to post today. So look forward to maybe a fun video being posted today, but maybe it'll come out tomorrow instead. I don't know. We'll see. English is hard indeed. About the what? Attraction love is always about, yeah, I mean there's a lot of people that do think that, yeah, not always, yeah. So anyways, why do these streams always turn into weird things? This is why I shouldn't do early streams. My brain goes, I'm too open. No, it's fine. I enjoy these streams. Anyways, next version should be fun. I am looking forward to Varka. I didn't actually think he was going to be free. If you want... Wait, am I allowed to say this? Well, I can neither confirm nor deny
my plan for the day?
any partaking in creator server experience.
Whatever I feel like, I suppose. Same with tomorrow.
But
and the day after that.
one could surmise that if I were partaking in the creator server, that if Varka were a free character, they would have been less likely to have creators make early access videos. Because, for example, Mizuki last year, there was no creator server, right? If Lohan is a standard banner character, there's probably going to be no creator server for him.
The best rattan furniture is made from strands that are
and so the moment
thin and strong like silk.
that I hypothetically may have been contacted by them to see if I wanted to have creator server access for Varka, I was kind of like, I would have kind of, fuck, I would have kind of hypothetically been like, you know, they probably wouldn't be caring to let people make a creator server access, early access to this character if they didn't want to sell him. You don't go out of your way to sell a free product, because it costs them money to have to like work with creators for this program and whatever. And usually what they want from it is they want coverage early that increases the chance that people spend money. They don't force creators to say anything specifically, to be clear, for the most part. other than like, you know, this was recorded on the creator server kind of thing. But you know, you get the point, right? If creator server exists, I kind of assume characters is normal, right? You can assume that. I feel like if creator server exists, characters probably not free, is not standard banner. But I could be wrong. Maybe we'll get creator server access.
Oh, my plan for the day?
For a standard unit.
Doing whatever I feel like, I suppose.
Said in Mizuki launch they'd add more standard units. Yeah.
After that.
So. Anyways, it's not surprising that it's not free. It's fine. I actually had more real cope that Zebai was free than Varka, for sure. Because I think on a marketing level, Zebai being free would have been a smarter play. But I don't know. At this point, it kind of seems like they're never going to give a free character other than like it's still wild to me how shit the new player experience is. But as far as like compared to every other gacha game, you can literally within your first day of play, for basically every other gacha game, you will get a 5-star, right? Zebai was too strong to be free. Yes, but no. Like for some people, she would have been too strong.
Furniture like that can be just as precious as a
but
family heirloom.
For her to be actually really strong, you need a pretty specific conjunction of things on your account, and that I think a lot of people wouldn't universally have. And then for her to also be really strong takes the same character that they released in the same patch, Columbina, that most players who are already invested in that, like the kinds of players that already wanted strong teams are the kinds of players who probably already pulled Nefer or Flints. And you can say the same about Varka? No, because Zebai being free would have been to promote a patch that they also wanted to get people to spend money. Because if Zebai was free later in the patch, it would make people, because they go and advertise that all over the world. They advertise free Zebai, And then we all know that makes people makes people go and look up what Zebai's best team is because they know they're getting her for free later in the patch. And then they're like, oh, Columbina's her best in team? I guess I'll pull for Columbina. I like her design. She seems fun. Everyone's saying positive things about her. I'll pull for Columbina. And then, oh shoot, the Columbina banner almost over. I didn't get her. I lost my 50-50. What do I do? Spend money. Like, that's the goal. That's the goal of giving away a free character. It's a promotion to try to get people to play the game at minimum. And also, ideally, you try to like put it in conjunction with something else that incentivizes spending money on top of getting a free character. Zhao was given as a free support for the Fox character in Zenless Zone Zero. And Zhao is good without the Fox, but Zhao is definitely incentivization to pull the Fox character. And then on top of pulling the Fox character, because the Fox character is pretty easy in Zenless to acquire without spending money, but then they added the skin, which is pretty nice looking. Then they have her Wenjin, which is like, okay, you kind of want the Wenjin. Then they have whatever other things going on. All kinds of things to try to make you spend money after you started playing, because, oh, there's a free character, and I've heard the free character is good. And Zebai would have been a character that I think, for most of the people that already cared about the game's combat, was less likely to result in having, like, overly strong teams. And I also got the vibe that they weren't specifically trying to shill Zebai in any way. And, like, next Stygian, they're not shilling Zebai in any way. Maybe when they release an off-field lunar crystallized unit, they will shill Zebai more functionally. I don't know. But, like, in terms of Zebai needing a pretty specific set of components to be strong, that's also true of Varka. Yeah, but the difference is, again, Varka is not releasing a patch that they're trying to sell something else. There's nothing else being sold. There's no... It is a filler patch. No, there's no free Varka. My point is I never add any. Like, after I stopped having any real cope that Varka was free. And I still personally feel that, like, as far as giving out a character for free, that would have been cool. Because I think... Actually, you know what? Maybe we have some... Do we have some Paimon Moe data or other wishing sites data? Are we in the stream?
Swallows nest when skies are fair, but hide when storms are in the air.
Didi has the zoomies, by the way. You heard him in the background. He was like, wah, 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 wah. 44.7k. Also, by the way, interesting thing from Paimon Moe data. The side effect of capturing Radiance is that the actual win rate of things has trended towards 60%, but anyways. 212,000, yeah. This is surprisingly low for a Neva, actually. But anyways, you can see... he just ran into a chair. Well, are you okay? You seem fine. Should I upgrade my support units before main DPS? Not really before, but don't neglect them. A lot of what your main DPS can do can oftentimes depend on the support, but how to what extent it depends. There's no universal answer for that. So, anyways, she literally has all components on her banner. Yeah, but if they gave her for free, she wouldn't have all components. Like, if you got her for free, you'd still have to be like, oh shit, I want to wish on her banner to get an Ilua kind of thing. Like, it would have been sneaky, no? It would have been sneaky, I think, because a lot of players would have felt the need to still pull on her banner, or pull her weapon maybe, because, like, they don't want to deal with, like, Harbinger of Dawn, like, whatever.
The best rattan furniture is made from strands that are smooth,
so,
thin, and strong
anyways,
like silk.
Ilua, like,
Furniture
as a
like
factor
that can
alone.
be just as precious as a silver
Family heirloom.
That's no exaggeration.
Would maybe people pull, but anyway, Nubilet has had a million banners, so obviously he was not going to get pulled a lot. But we'll see if like, and again, this is not necessarily representative of global. There's a good chance that because I don't know, she's a hot lady, and has more symbolism for China, like Liyue, Lunar New Year, whatever things. I don't know. Maybe she's more popular in China, but and that'll make money. But it was obviously clear that the random new character they introduced that has not been an actual character presented in game before, other than just in passing mentioned lore-wise, right? Was not going to make the same kind of numbers that Columbina did. And releasing Z-Bike for free could have gotten more people to potentially spend money on Columbina, or spend money, like the people that ended up wishing for Z-Bike anyways. I bet these are people that would have just ended up wishing either for a dupe copy of Z-Bike, because Z-Bike C1 is really strong and quite fun, it seems like. So these people that, if they got Z-Bike for free, right, these majority of these people got Z-Bike C0. You can see in the gray chunk here. A little bit of them got C1, right? 7,600, but that's only 5%. Like, also, what percentage got C6? 10%, all right.
Swallows nest when
Skies are fair. Point being,
hide when storms are
I don't think the general wishing behavior for like the people that were already going to get Z-Bike would have changed that much. It just would have changed where they spent the wishes, right? And if Z-Bike was free, like I don't know, it just confuses me, because like the more I think of it, the more I like am not quite certain why Genshin doesn't try to like be smart with giving a strategic free 5-star on occasion. Did they update Chronicle Banner? Yeah, there's Chronicle Banner. I actually have the tab still open, Osorio. This is the weapon banner. It's by far the worst weapon Chronicle Banner. I yapped for it a little bit. And then this is obviously fine if you want one of the characters, but it's still ass because it's Chronicle Banner. I had a whole ass yap about how shit Chronicle Banner is and whatever.
My plan for the day? Doing whatever I feel like, I suppose. Same with tomorrow.
So,
and the day after that.
They still haven't done it. Yeah, I don't know. At this point, I don't know. As funny as it is to maybe continue coping that a character might be free or not, for whatever reason, they don't want a character for free, a 5-star for free. I feel like the number one smartest thing they could do for this at this point is to give a free 5-star for free, and then it's a permanent free 5-star. I can't even fathom though why, like, it's not like I see people coming in my chat saying I'm a new player, right? With enough regularity that I'm like, okay, new players are still playing Genshin on occasion. I think it's relatively rare. I don't think the number of new players versus the number of existing players is. I don't think the player base is growing very fast at the very least, and it's probably not growing in general. But there are new players, right? And like completely neglecting any new player experience and how ass it is to try to like, let alone catch up, but how ass it is compared to other gacha games to just acquire your first 5-star in general. Like, there's a really major difference, like psychological factor at play there, I feel like. And like, I think the vast majority of people, if you're going to try playing a gacha game for the first time, you're going to have an initial better experience trying something like Enfield, Wuwa, Zenless, that all enable you to get a 5-star earlier immediately, right? Just a 5-star. And yeah, C1 Z-Bike, C0 low, C10 high now. Oof. Pretty fast or pretty impactful for returning players as well. Yeah, like, I don't know. Why don't they do the thing? Why don't they just like give you a like you reach AR 10 and you get a free standard banner character of your choice? Like, why the fuck have they not done that? Travelers 5-star, yeah. Please play the game for 17,000 hours before you unlock the one compelling traveler. Sorry, Tars. Hopefully Tars is in here. I'm not really that much of an enjoyer of travelers kits. I find them largely extremely clunky and not very satisfying to use. There's a reason I haven't really made any traveler videos. Even Pyro Traveler. Pyro Traveler is good, and I have used Dendro Traveler plenty of times. Dendro Traveler is pretty good, but boring. Pyro Traveler is good. I just found them clunky, and they annoyed me when they released Pyro Traveler. I would probably really like Pyro Traveler if they had released them at the start of Natlan, which has Chronicle Banner first half, I believe. So, yeah. Anyways, haven't gotten quality of life updates since Miliastra. I mean, no, we have. They've done quality of life. They're in a separate announcement usually. I don't think I've heard of any quality of life that they're adding this patch, to be clear. But the quality of life isn't mentioned in the live stream very often anymore. Did they mention anything for Miliastra as far as new actual content? And then the voice chat features being added. Wasn't this the last thing? What was the Miliastra timeline? By the way. See if I can find it. I found it.
Oh, my plan for the day?
Okay,
Doing
no.
whatever I feel like,
So
I
Luna
suppose.
4 was the
Same
last.
with
This is
tomorrow,
the
and the day after.
development plans they announced when they first announced it with like 6.0 or when it was coming in 6.1. Sorry. So Luna 2. And they didn't outline anything else, and they haven't given any specific outline, which I think is a bad sign for me personally. I don't know. I don't know how. Like again, I still feel like Astra has a lot of potential, and it has a lot of potential, including to fix a lot of major problems I have with, like, just being able to have fun using the characters you enjoy playing. I think Melee Astra gets a big update every 2 patches. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm still willing to wait, but they certainly didn't show anything there that I felt mattered that much. The voice is a good feature, to be clear, for just different games in general. I'm glad voice is being added. It means games like it means like stupid things like if you watch the video with Kiwi, voice being added for this, for example, makes a lot of sense. It means trying to complete this with random creators could be kind of fun. Or random people could be kind of fun. On a level of like, you probably get really annoyed trying to coordinate with strangers. But still, you could, I don't know, it'd be fun. And I think voice is an important feature for that. And as long as you can, turn it off selectively, which you can, and it works decently, cool feature. But it's like a minor thing. That's like an obvious no-brainer. It's not anything that actually addresses any fundamental issue that I think Melee Astra has. So we'll see. It's still an interesting thing. But it does all feel like they're getting weirdly desperate with trying to convince me, or just people in general. It feels like they're getting really desperate trying to convince people to play it. And it's like, how about make it better? you can tell me to play it all you want, but I don't know. Yep. Leeway Chronicle in 6.3 because they don't want to rerun Chronicle Banner regularly. I think they don't want to rerun Chronicle Banner very regularly because
Furniture like that can
choice
be just
overload
as
is a
precious
problem.
as a silver family heirloom. That's no exaggeration.
Right. Like I think there's a reason they saved what Chronicle here? I swear we're ending the stream after this, hopefully. Chronicle Banner. How many of these Chronicle wishes have fallen on what people would describe as filler patches? So I'm talking filler patches are one where like the content of the patch is like definitely no exploration added. Oftentimes usually after a major exploration patch or other major release, or whatever else, right? Like have most of these banners been during like typical filler patches? I'd be willing to bet they have. So the next one definitely is. This one was March 13th, version 4.5. 4.5. It was the Chiori patch. Okay. Yes. That one was filler. 5.3. Okay, this one wasn't. Oh yeah, so this was the least one. This was the least filler patch. For sure. That was Mawika patch. I forgot about that. And then we had the Inazuma banner, which was with the Scofier, which... Oh, this is when they did paralogism. I don't know. This is I think this was a filler patch, but like a pretty good filler patch because it was a good quest, right? But this also came immediately after the volcano was added, right? And Escoffier was, your typical character that comes out of nowhere, right?
That's no exaggeration.
Character came out of nowhere that no one knew anything about because it wasn't in the story at all. Just random new release that we have sometimes. Like, I think that's kind of... This was definitely a filler patch, just with a good story. And then... Oh, I had to go back. And then this one was Luna 1. Yeah, this was... Is Luna 1 a filler patch? I don't know. This one's kind of weird. Like, there was nothing other than Archon Quest, right?
Doing whatever I feel like, I suppose. Same with tomorrow and the day after.
There was Anniversary Patch too. So I don't know. I this one's weird middle ground. So first one definitely filler. Second one not. Also, look how fucking long it took for them to do, like, what the fuck. Anyway, sorry. First one was filler patch. This one wasn't. This one, I would say, and then the new one definitely is. So like, it's kind of halfsies. I'd say it's halfsies. So halfsies-ish means, I don't know if that's actually a strong pattern or not, but that would be my theory to some degree. Is like, they didn't want to release a Chronicle banner during Z-Buy and whatever, or during Durin, because they didn't want to cause choice overload of. Because I think there's an effect that can happen where if you have too many choices, you just end up making no choice instead, right? You're like, oh, I want Durin, but I also want Albedo, but I also want Klee, but I also want blah, 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 blah. Choice overload can make you just not choose things, right? Surely we're not calling 6.0 a filler patch. Luna 1 was not 6.0. Wait. No, sorry, Luna 1 was a 6.0. I'm a dumbass. My bad. Why did I think it was 6.1? Fucking, why did you have to redo the goddamn naming scheme? Sorry. My bad. I'm a dumbass. Don't worry about it. Then yes, it definitely wasn't. So either way, point still stands. We're like 50-50. So I don't think there's a strong correlation to support that argument, but we don't have enough data regardless, so it doesn't matter. Point is, it's maybe one of the reasons that explains the timing of things. I'm still confused, like, why the hell did they not do a Mondstadt Chronicle banner during the Durin patch when they buffed all the characters, right? Like, I have to imagine more people would have felt more desire to pull for the buff characters when they were first buffed than 3 months after they got buffed, right? 10 out of 10 naming system, yeah, I know, right? So, I don't know. Go for a Scofier if you don't have Skirk. Short answer, no. Long answer, maybe? Like a Scofier Mualani is one of the most compelling options I think you have at dealing with the crab, for example. It's because you can fully enable a Scofier's passive within a Scofier team, but you have an enemy with permanent pyro, or the main form of damage dealing to the enemy has permanent pyro, that allows you to vaporize it still. So it's just like, oh, well, that's strong, right? And well, you won't have that team option for dealing with the crab if you didn't have that. And a Scofier pops up in weird ways like that for characters in general. And then she's also just nice to have if you have Cryo or Hydro DPSs that you just want more team options for too. So, but inherently, a Scofier is a less relevant unit without Skirk. But at the same time, especially if you have something like Shenhe, you suddenly have more Scofier team options to clear different kinds of content. So, I don't know. I don't have a clear answer for you. Linnea leaks soon. She's a good pickup. Yeah, I assume we're getting leaks about them because they're releasing the patch after Varka.
I want to savor every scene,
but they also showcase Lohan. So I don't know. Are they gonna do a double 5-star patch? Maybe weird. Like, what the hell is 6.5 gonna be? I don't know. We'll find out soon. Let's see what they're gonna do. I don't really want them to do another double 5-star patch, but I guess it would be fine if one of the 5 stars is a standard banner, right? Do a double 5-star release, one standard banner, one's a limited unit. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that'd be fine. Esco is the best cryo application in the game right now. I mean, she's a good generic unit. And like, yeah.
put my hands when I'm nervous. I just really want to make friends with everyone.
Actually, I can draw a more clear line. If I wasn't getting Skirk and I didn't enjoy Skirk, I would have regretted getting Escoffier. I would have felt like it would, like, if I ended up disliking Skirk, I would have ended up disliking, just feeling like I wasted all my resources getting Escoffier and Skirk. So,
I want to savor every
to be clear, she's still a surprisingly versatile unit that has been useful in other circumstances, but hasn't been useful enough to me to matter with the resources. So, I would say no, but if you have a Hydro or Cryo DPS that you really like playing, probably worth getting a Escoffier just so you have more team options for them. Because I think if you are a main of a character, having more team options for that character is much more important than any focus on does it enable them to just stomp the entire game's content. I don't think it's too healthy to get focused just on DPS potential. Yes, for Ayaka, she's a godsend, but for Ayaka, she's still somewhat reliant on having Shenhe too.
I won't go too far.
So, yeah, Escoffier is still a good character at baseline. But she's not going to magically carry you through Stygian on her own. It's going to take investment into something else. But she very well could be enough difference that you could choose to get Escoffier in conjunction with having some other invested cryo things going on to deal with the cryo boss next patch. But technically, Skirk on her own without Escoffier is better at dealing with the cryo boss than Escoffier is on her own kind of thing. So the cryo boss ain't easy. So yeah, she's in a weird spot. Oh, sorry, I just saw a comment. It's so frustrating not having early access to Pyro Traveler. Yeah, I really don't like that you have to do the story to get Pyro Traveler. It would have been so much better if Pyro Traveler was just acquirable freely in the normal mechanism. But whatever. But lore reasons. If there's lore reasons for Pyro Traveler not being available, there could have been lore reasons for Pyro Traveler being available early. Anyways.
Each day is a new page in my story.
Yes, I would say Seat Lolly is the better cryo applier at a baseline when you really need cryo application. The way that Seat Lolly's cryo application works, even though it's the same baseline frequency after her initial hits, those initial hits and like the timing of the burst cryo application in particular, because it has multiple instances of cryo that happen at separated timings, matters a lot. So, check my account. If it lacks something, I can't check your whole account. Sorry. And I'm tired. Lunar Traveler? Yeah, why doesn't Lunar Traveler exist, honestly? To be clear, I don't know. For the people that really like Traveler, like Tars, the buffs are probably better than what Lunar Traveler would have been, most likely. So, I don't know. Like, what would Lunar Traveler have been? Like make it so you can summon an Ino burst when you press Hydro Traveler's E? That would have been pretty good. It would have been pretty good, but like they already released Ino. Why do we need that? So, yep. Yes, I am still streaming. I'm gonna stop in a second. 2 comps? Okay, yeah, sorry. It's just not what I'm doing right now. I know we're having a we're just having a chill yap about random things with a new update, so. I don't know. Anyways, next patch should be fun, as always. I will enjoy a relaxed patch where the thing to do is to have fun with Varka, catch up on whatever other content I want to do next patch, and the new story should be fun. That's it. And maybe having less Genshin content gives me more freedom and time that I can focus on doing more Enfield streams or whatever. I don't know. Anyways. And hopefully it'll give me time, because like part of the reason it's been a struggle to hopefully it's been obvious. Part of the reason it's been a struggle to like find an editor is because of having various other projects going on and a bunch of character releases. And it's like, oh yes, I finished this, but then oh fuck, Zebai is 1 week away and I gotta think about that shit. That's a really negative tone, sorry. Like, but just on like a work stress level for me. Not feeling like I have time to do anything on top of my own, you know, oops, I have streamed for 9 hours and now I am tired and now I fell asleep and I fucked up my whole sleep schedule. Especially balanced with like I stayed up until 7 a.m. working on a video. Makes it hard to have time to do things like getting an editor, so hopefully I will be able to transition to having some time to do that this next patch. And then I can hopefully make more videos. Do you have early Varka access? I don't think I'm supposed to confirm to you whether or not I have early Varka access, but you can go and look at past instances of my own content or other people's content to get a guess on when creator server videos come out and if there will or will not be one for Varka from me. But all I can tell you is during my live streams earlier this week, yesterday, I mentioned how I had been working on a video.
I won't go too far.
And I didn't say what that video was. And that video isn't out now. But the video is done. So, yeah. That's all I'm saying. I was working on a video the past couple days. Doot doot doot. Barka Barka. Looking forward to Varka in 11 days, 4 hours, 23 minutes, plus approximately 4 to 5 hours of maintenance time. See you then. Well, I'll be streaming and whatever in the meantime. Speaking of, there's a chance, by the way, actually, okay. So, if I don't end up finishing this video to post in the next few hours, I might go live with a really short second stream today after I like sleep for a little bit or something. Because Yomiholic, this is like, they don't usually do this, but they basically, and I didn't even notice until they contacted me earlier this week. I'll be transparent with you guys. If I stream again today, they're like, hey Saluda, the deadline for our posting challenge if for getting extra money. So basically, they're like, hey, we'll give you money for reaching this total number of videos posted in the last like month. And they just do that. It was like, oh, they want me as a Genshin creator to post more content during this patch because this is a patch that I want to make money from. And they're like, hey, yesterday they were like, or 2 days ago, technically, I think 3 days ago. They're like, hey, you're 3 videos away from getting 80% of the goal, which was like 32 fucking videos. And I was like, well, I'm not making 32. When they originally told me, I was just like, I don't know, I'll try. And I totally forgot about it. And I didn't actually try because I didn't care. Like they asked me to, they were basically like, oh, here's a chunk of money for making a shit ton of extra videos. And it's like, no, fuck you. You're asking me to put in a bunch of additional work vaguely for something that like, no. And I already had plans to make a bunch of other things that were going to take extra time, like the Millie Astra video. Videos that I knew were going to take time. That means I couldn't have time to do other things. And I don't have an editor yet. Maybe if I had an editor, I could have reached 32 videos, right? But then they DM me that there's apparently an, oh, if you do 80%, I get half that amount of money. And I'll just tell you, it was $300 for making 24 videos, I think, in like a month-ish period. So, and right now I'm 1 away, and the deadline is today, by the way. And they said it was fine if I just do like 3 live streams. So technically I could do 2 live streams today. I could do this one, end my stream, and 2 hours later do another stream, and that would count for 1 more live stream, and I would reach the 80% goal, and I would get $300. Like, I think I might just do like a 1 hour live stream where I don't know, I fuck about with Lanyan for playing something in endgame for a bit, and then I'll give away a Welkin or something as a thank you to joining my stream that got me $300. Maybe I'll give away more, a Welkin or 2. So, what's happening? My fucking monitor is flashing constantly now, by the way. I think my cat fucking did something to a cable. I gotta go look at my things. Anyways, So maybe I'll have a stream, but if I don't, I might just end up being like, fuck it. I don't need the $300. You pulling the Chronicle banner? Fuck no. I shouldn't say fuck no again, but like, no. Albedo was a minor temptation for a bit, but the way I would have been actually tempted to pull Albedo is if they ran the Chronicle banner during the banner he was buffed, or during the patch he was buffed. Now I ran out of any temptation to get Albedo. Sorry. I have like no desire for any rerun character right now. So, live stream counts as video too. Yeah. So, no. Anyways, no Chronicle banner. I really mostly only care about new characters at this point. I've got basically every character I want. I have every 4-star constellation I want too, other than like C6 Dahlia or Mika Cons would be kind of interesting to me, but not very interesting. So, yeah. There's no Archon in 6.4. What? What do you mean? We got our Archon equivalent as Columbina. So, yeah. I'm desperate to get both Klee and Albedo. Good luck, Osorio. Good luck. Anyways. Bye-bye. We're not even going to raid anyone. I'm too lazy. We'll maybe go live later for a short stream. Actually, you know what? If I go live later, it's going to be a YouTube exclusive stream. There you go. And if I do go live later... Oh my god, cats are being cats. They're crazy. We'll probably at least give away a couple Welkins or something. Because why not? I don't know. Maybe I won't. But maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Why am I on the ocean screen? Get out of here.